really that cute.
So look, welcome everybody. We're live. We're good. We're going. Quick thing. We have a couple guests with us today. We have Chris Pinkerton.
If you're nasty.
And then we have, of course, Angry Gary, who's with us as usual. Well, not as usual, but as somewhat usual.
On his regular quarterly rotation, we'll say.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey. And then his son, Jack, is here as well. Jack is a young man.
Give him some bullets or something.
Yeah.
There is a full soundboard.
As a young man getting ready to enter the world, so to speak.
Yeah.
Has the occupation of a police officer become somewhat more alluring in the past couple weeks? Because these girls are giving it up out there, Jack.
Do you know the story, Jack?
I'm somewhat familiar with it, but I haven't
So there's a young police officer, female.
This is in Tennessee.
In Tennessee, married.
You ever been to Memphis, Jack?
I have not.
Because you're the only 10 I see.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Put that one in the catalog.
I was never good at those, man.
You can use any city in Tennessee. Johnson City, even.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How about Jackson?
Jackson, Tennessee. I've been to Jackson.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were going to put something like.
Oh, just throw together. No, you're gonna just do the 10 I see. You gotta just keep doing it. That's all they got. That's all they got.
See, I told you I was bad at those.
So anyway, this young lady, she cut a fairly wide swath through the ranks, as it were, and she had basically let a team full of dudes go to work on her. And she has lost her job, and I think some of them have lost theirs.
That's like 7 people that got fired.
Yeah, so 7 if you do the numbers. 1 in 6.
But they're like on county property.
Yeah, while at work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was in Laverne,
which is just impossible to imagine. But however, I was just wondering if any of the younger fellas in the world were now being like, you know what, maybe I'll give that a shot. It seemed bad a couple years ago, but it's starting to look a little better.
Well, what do you think?
It's insane. Just the insanity of this generation.
Yeah. I mean, because it's really not looking that good now with the outcome because everybody got fired. I'm curious. I'm actually worried about that girl's mental health.
No, I am too.
Considering what wow, like this ain't going away.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to take these jokes though. I'm afraid. That's just part of it. It's like, you know what I mean.
I got you. Yeah, you want to.
There's something else that I found pretty exciting in the news recently. And then we can kind of move on to Nerd Weeks and shit. But I wanted to kind of get this out of the way. I got to let this ad play through real quick. But hold on 1 second. So this Joe Biden was at a function recently. And at this function, it has something to do with Martin Luther King Day.
Was he singing Happy Birthday?
Yes. Yes. Have you heard
this? It's just the gift that keeps on giving, man.
It really is.
It's almost worth the country just going straight down, just watching the comedy.
So,
oh my goodness.
So
please tell me he sings it very raspy like Marilyn Monroe.
That's what we thought in the beginning.
Even better.
Maybe he does it to himself in the mirror.
Go ahead.
So
I don't want to spoil it.
The wife of Martin Luther King III was having a birthday.
Oh, okay.
Right. And to be fair, well, there's the lyrics of Happy Birthday are there. Everybody knows them. Mm-hmm. It's a classic in many ways. but there is one twist on the old classic, and that is you have to know the name of the person that you're singing Happy Birthday to.
Oh, that is.
And in all fairness, he might have known it at the beginning of the song. Yeah. But by the time he got to the end, it just seemed to escape.
So I'm going to see if I can get this audio to play. But here we go.
Who I understand, his birthday today? Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, you sing happy birthday. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Valen.
Wow.
At what point do you think everyone started looking around like he ain't gonna remember a fucking name? Like nobody decided to jump out and just.
I'll tell you what, not for nothing. the past 2 presidents, whoever handles their PR has had their work cut out for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, but I know that lady or gentleman, but in my mind it's a lady. Not sure why it was in the back.
Yeah. Who authorized this?
Who told him?
I tell you.
Well, what you should have done is been like, "Happy birthday, dear everybody."
Yeah, right.
You know, and then you can get around the shit.
Yeah,
you know?
well, that's there's a little bit of a decline in the spontaneity of this man, if you will.
So, with that being said,
I'm sorry.
Go.
Oh, I was just gonna say Biden should audition for American Idol. Just see how he.
You should. I would love to see him.
Yeah, I would love to just see if they just put a panel up and just had them critique him. Like, you just,
yeah. So just, what is it like? Like you did not go on to the next round. Like,
just to see how he remembers lyrics.
Yeah. So, Jack, as a first-time person here, we do this bit where we say like just what's been going on in our lives recently, as far as what we've been watching, or listening to, or reading, or doing,
or what grinds your gears.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anything. What's been going on with you recently? What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? I mean, last night I just watched the Last of Us series, the first episode.
I went to watch that.
I didn't get to it. I'm debating if I want to pick up another because I haven't played the game.
People are saying it's great.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
I thought it was good. I mean, I only played like the first little bit of the game. I haven't played much of it, but from what I've seen, it's pretty it's a pretty good adaptation of the game.
Well, good. They say it's fairly faithful, and they say they're going to stick to being fairly faithful. I'm playing Doom Eternals currently.
That's a great game.
It's hard as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, like all these fucking demons, you know, like it's like, you know, Doom. You remember Doom, right? Like the classic, like first.
Oh yeah. I had that on PlayStation 1, and my wife bought that for me.
So it's like a modern interpretation of it, and you know, you're fighting these demons and everything. It's like it's a little repetitive. It's just kind of like arena after arena after arena of these like demons, but like,
is it first player like Doom was? Like,
yeah, dude. But I had to put it on easy. Like I had to go back into settings, and I was like, look, man. I was like, I spent $60 on this. I'm not going to be fucking having a bad time,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I don't want that shotgun.
Who the hell pays
$60
to have a bad time?
I did. I bought Elden Ring and never could get anywhere in it.
I played a little bit of Elden Ring. It was highly recommended to me. It's a really hard game.
Yeah. My brother, who's not a huge gamer, he beat it. So I was like, what am I doing wrong here? And he asked me about my character, and I kind of picked a little of this and a little of that. He's like, either do the magic or do the sword fighting. You don't try to do both. You have to, and he said, if you pick one of those two, you'll enjoy it a lot more because your power set or whatever goes where it needs to go.
Yeah.
So you're playing Doom Eternals, or you have played it? Mm-hmm. What do you have it?
It's the newest one, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the PS4.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I just realized I made a big error. Shout out to Jordan. He was supposed to come by today to sit in, like just kind of hang out and watch and be it's almost like an audience almost. And I'm borrowing a figure of his for a review, and I said we're recording at 10, and he said cool PM I guess, and I was like, oh yeah. Just not thinking. Wow. So I just went back and checked, and I was like, hey, it's AM. I'm super sorry. We're already recording. If you can make it, just come on in. So he might pop up at some point.
Who is that?
This dude, Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What else? Anything else?
You're obviously a big Transformers guy.
I am.
How do you feel about the new Transformers movie coming out?
The Beast, Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah.
So I've had my heart broken so many times. Like there's a formula to how they roll this shit out. Mm-hmm. They give you something to get excited about. So in the first one, it was just that it was happening, and in the second one, it was that there was going to be a Devastator, and then in Ravage also, and then in the third one, it was there was something. I'm not recalling it yet. Oh, Shockwave. It was Shockwave. And then in the fourth one, it was the dinosaurs. And then in the fifth one, it was Galvatron. But it's always disappointing. So I'll be there. I'll watch it because it will be almost expected of me to have seen it. But I am I'm not looking forward to the experience.
Yeah, I think this is like a complete reboot. I think it's like
it's not.
Oh, it's not?
No. So it's the sequel to the Bumblebee movie.
Right.
And the Bumblebee movie doesn't break continuity with the Bay movies. It's a prequel.
Oh, okay.
That's why like Megatron isn't in it yet, because he hasn't like arrived to Earth yet. And that's why Optimus is in it, because he was already here at the first Transformers movie.
Yeah.
But like they kind of wrote themselves into a corner. They should have rebooted it.
I thought Megatron was on Earth, just buried in.
Oh yeah, he was buried. He was buried. He was captive in that thing.
Well, wasn't he? Didn't they find it? Right, because they found him in like the 1920s or something. Okay,
so like he can't.
It's hard for me to keep up.
So he can't like be a villain in these movies because then it'll break continuity.
To me, like the continuity doesn't line up because
it sucks. It's fucking awful.
Yeah, because like in the first the first Michael Bay film, they weren't like Transformers. Like when they arrived at Earth, they were just robots, and they just like took the shape of cars as disguises.
Maybe I don't really know. But I guess if they tie it in,
because they landed in like these
pods,
they came like meteors, right? And then you saw them like they
kind of had this protoform almost, and then they took on, hey, let's make Starscream. We got a Dorito sponsorship. Yeah, you're gonna look like a Dorito.
He does look like a Dorito.
Starscream, and that was too, like I'm not nowhere near as well versed as you guys are on that, but Starscream, like, was always my favorite, and they just butchered that character so bad, and it was just
he was he was like I love to hate him. Like that character. Like
through the cartoons?
When I was a kid, yeah.
Everybody did. He was a double agent.
Treacherous and fucking, a pain in the ass, and his voice was obnoxious.
Yeah, but he was amazing. Nonetheless.
He had some funny moments. He's actually like, I'm going back and watching a lot of those old ones now for this series that I'm doing. And, dude, he's really responsible for bringing all of the Autobots back to life. Like, they crash into the fucking mountain. The thing finds Skywarp, brings him back to life. Skywarp drags all the Decepticons into this thing that brings them all back to life. And then they just leave the Autobots dead in this mountain. And then Starscream just starts shooting at the mountain. Like, fuck them, and shooting at the mountain. But the shot ends up like
waking up the
like it shakes the structure, and Optimus falls into the thing that revives him, and then he comes back and then brings explore, repair, and so it's like had Starscream just like fucking got on with it, it would like that would have been the end of it. The Decepticons win.
Well, that was him, right? He was always such a wild card, and like that's what was so great about him, man. And he could do cool shit. So yeah,
I guess I love him, but I hate him at the same time. I love like what he adds to that story, but I hate him.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Are you watching anything else? Listening to anything else? What are you listening to, Jack? As a young man, what music is that? What music is out there?
I'm mainly like I love classic rock.
Oh God! So did you let your dad not control everything that you fucking see and do and are into?
You know what's? I'll let him answer that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously some of it was from him, but I mean, I kind of just like, but
yeah, he's like sitting here wearing a Kiss t-shirt.
But there's some modern stuff that's good too, like some modern rock bands.
Yeah. Who do you like? Modern.
I guess Greta Van Fleet is pretty modern.
All right.
And well, he sounds a lot like Led Zeppelin, or they sound a lot like Led Zeppelin.
Did you ever see that band, The Darkness? I believe in a thing called love.
Yeah.
I like them.
They're not that old. I mean, they're not that new.
No. But they were like chasing an old sound, like an old
hair metal.
Yeah,
sound.
Yeah.
And like 2000 whatever.
That one, not I believe in a thing called love. What was their second single?
I couldn't tell you.
The love's the
something about love.
Yeah, and it's got that slow just beat. I know that song. It's a great song.
I remember that in the music.
I know what you.
In the music video, he's like laying in bed.
Yeah.
And
I didn't see
the lyric is sleeping in an empty bed, and he's just like rubbing the sheets, sleeping in an empty bed. Crack me up. Can't get you out of my head. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's just really like it only seems like there's one instrument playing the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you guys brought that. So what do you guys listen to? What do you like to listen to?
I listen to everything.
I do.
Me too. But
I hate that answer. But
I mean, no. Well,
but it's true.
I listen to old country music. I listen to old hip hop.
Yeah. Growing on Me was the name of the song.
Oh, it's not the one I
Yeah,
was thinking.
I mean everything in between. Like I love I don't even know what you call the music, like rock music from the 2000s. Like, oh my gosh,
Kid Rock is from 2000.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've listened to plenty of Kid Rock. He's not on a rotation for me. Right, Shine Down, stuff like that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and just combinations of all. Like I like as much shit as they get. I like country rappers.
Yeah, he does.
Because oftentimes
He loves it.
I mean, I can relate a lot more to what they're talking about than people from like India rapping to drill beats about.
I love it.
Well, and that's your thing, and that's but see, that's what what the shame about for me, classic rock is like new rock is not enabled to. Like they just it's if it comes like there's a lot of good rock bands out there right now and nobody knows them because they're just not allowed to penetrate the mainstream for whatever reason. Like
but it means easier now to penetrate the mainstream.
It is, but if you listen to 98 Rock, which I do, on my regular
but nobody listens to the fucking radio anymore.
Well, some people do. Some normal people that have a regular radio.
But not young kids, not like
I get that, but that's what I mean because it's almost like back in 1950s or whatever year it was the guy started playing the Beatles and stuff like that. Like it's almost like rock is like an untapped resource now. Like that if someone was actually to go out and
it died,
well, if you listen to 98 Rock, which is supposed to be a current rock band, and they're playing, I don't even know
the same shit. Metallica, Tool,
songs from the 90s.
All the shit from the 90s. That's what they play.
Wonders from the 90s that weren't even good. Like they're not even playing the good shit from the 90s.
No, but I mean, like you're going to hear fucking if you play 98 Rock for 24 hours, I guarantee you're going to hear Unforgiven by Metallica.
Yes.
You're going to hear Enter Sandman by Metallica.
Nah.
You're going to hear
Enter Sandman's very overplayed.
100%.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
You're going to hear Undertow by Tool.
Right.
You're going to hear Man in a Box by Alice in Chains.
There's other songs
they
too
play
from
the
like
same
like
shit.
Silverchair. You'll hear Silverchair.
Yeah.
They had one song. Like, why are you playing
I liked
this?
The Year 2000 by Silverchair. Like, we'll make it up to you in the year.
Yeah,
I like that.
I mean, but they won't play Glorious Sons. They won't play The Pretty Reckless. They won't play you said Jet. They won't play Greta Van Fleet. They won't let the new ones penetrate. So they just recycle the old shit.
Yeah, well,
and nobody gets to know that there's new bands out there that are playing.
But that's because nobody gives a shit about FM radio anymore.
Okay, granted, but even
except old people, and that's why they're playing songs that old people grew up with.
I get that, but there's also, I think there's a happy medium there too.
No, I agree.
Where there's
I would like variety.
if you hear if you go to a football game and what's his name? I forgot who the.
God forbid. First of all,
well, we went last week. It was glorious. It was amazing,
dude. I can't.
Steelers beat the Ravens.
That is the
fantastic.
game I least enjoy watching.
Okay, but all right, but granted, but so now I'll switch gears here. But most people, a lot of people enjoy it.
Yeah,
and
sure.
They enjoy watching football games.
No, but that's apples and oranges.
Okay, no. Let me finish. Okay, so when it's 4th and 1, okay,
fuck you.
Okay,
I can't do this.
Hold on.
I don't know what any of these things mean.
I'll explain.
Okay,
when it's 4th and 1,
I don't want an explanation.
Well, let me explain how rock and or different genres.
4th and 1.
Okay, they're playing Megadeth on to get the fans amped up. They're playing Metallica, Ride the Lightning, and everybody's freaking crazy. Okay, but when it comes to the Super Bowl, they won't invite these people to play a show and let people hear it, so nobody knows it's there. But again, so a guy like I forgot it was Steven Tyler or whatever. It's like, don't use our shit if when you want throughout the whole game, but you never want to invite us to the party. You know what I mean? You use our stuff and everybody's in on it, but then you're playing Rihanna at halftime at the Super Bowl, and that's not amping people up. And you just
I mean she's probably the big one of the biggest artists in the world.
I'm not.
Right now.
I like Rihanna's music.
No, but
all
I'm just saying if you're trying to if you have one of the most broadcasted fucking sporting events of the year,
right?
you're gonna want the act that's going to get the biggest turnout.
But again, you don't know that until you go to a new. When Metallica played the Super Bowl, it had a very big.
Yeah, no, but Metallica's beloved too, and it's not to say that something's bad. It's just like when you start talking about like artists like Drake and Rihanna and these people that sell 10 million every time they turn around. Like, it's just a different, like, the reason why they're pop is because they're popular.
But listen to what you said. You didn't want to hear about football. Like, 9 million of those people aren't watching football. It's not their 10 million. The people who watch football,
no, that's
most
not
of
true.
them, most of them want it. A lot of them want to hear the bands that they hear on 4th and 1.
See, I think,
and when they're just to see what happens, just curious.
But the audience is bigger on Super Bowl Sunday. You're getting the people. You're getting the people that Rihanna.
You are, but if you have 4 people on the couch, 3 of them are football fans, and the other one is the one who just came along for the whatever. So it would just
I think
be
it's less than that.
Maybe, and you might. But it would just be interesting.
Who wants
to
jalapeno poppers?
It would be interesting. It would be interesting to see. There's room for everybody, but for some reason, there's no room for classic rock or for rock style bands anymore for any platform.
Let's play a game. Let's play a game. I've got the station you mentioned. I have their current what they've played today.
Okay.
I'm going to name the artist. You tell me what song you think they're playing. Right now, it's an AC/DC. It's
Back in Black.
No.
TNT?
Thunder or
Shook Me All Night Long?
Yeah. I was going to say, they talk about a fax machine in it. Disturbed.
Okay.
It's a cover. I'll give you a hint.
Fucking the Hello Darkness.
Hello Darkness.
Yes,
I
it's
actually
on the
love that
silence.
fucking cover.
I
man.
hate it.
Oh, I love
I
it.
hate
It's
it.
so it hits so hard.
I hate
man.
it so much.
You like it too? It's amazing.
It's so corny to me.
Oh, you're crazy.
Whereas I find the original kind of haunting.
All right, let's move on to the
It's
next
like they
artist.
try too hard. Mortal Souls.
He's got some voice, I think.
Yeah.
Bush.
Bush. The guy you mean?
What song?
The band Bush.
Yeah, I don't.
What song?
I never got into him.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't even good in the 90s.
I'm making a point here.
Yeah, he's making a point. Good. Do you know any songs by him? I don't.
I know the song from Bush.
It's Little Things. It's
Yeah, I don't know.
you know the song if you heard it. Godsmack. That's a 2000s rock band all day long.
Yeah,
Godsmack's good.
But I think this is a modern, like a more modern song of there. It's Surrender. That doesn't come to.
Oh, I would have guessed.
I'm not the one who's.
No, or the other one.
I'm Alive.
Yeah. All right, this is U2. I didn't figure they'd play any U2 on this one.
Where the Streets Have No Name?
No, it's their probably biggest song they ever had.
I'm not.
All right,
In the Name of
ready?
Love?
One.
I'm not a.
It's
two?
one.
It's
One
one.
by U2.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. I don't know.
Now I'm not familiar with this. I know I've heard of the artist. I don't know their music. Ghost.
Oh yeah, I know. So I know them.
I've heard of Ghost.
So they're like a death metal type, but they're not like. But they're like they
dress up like a
popes
priest
and like
the Pope,
priests
yeah.
and like
so Square Hammer and
I don't know
Aerosmith.
Sweet Emotion.
Sing for the Moment.
This is
it's
Come Together, which is
That's
Come Together,
that's
which is
the 70s.
probably the most classic rock.
Yeah, that's
Walk This Way.
Green Day.
That's enough. I mean, enough for Green Day already. I mean,
Basket
God,
Case.
Probably
When
one
I
of their
Come
biggest
Around,
hits.
or
Yeah,
is it
Boulevard
Wake Me Up When September's Gone? I mean,
It's something like that.
My
It's
goodness.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Okay.
that song sucks.
Shine Down.
I'm not a fan.
How Did You Love? Which is not my favorite one. Foo Fighters.
So like what?
Monkey Wrench.
Is there one band on there aside from Ghost that's modern?
Well, I'll just read the artist.
That's what I'm saying. How hard is it to do
Black
that?
Sabbath.
Because Gary, they're playing to their demographic.
Who is? I've never heard of it. Mammoth WVH.
I know Mammoth, the death metal band.
That's Eddie Van Halen's kid.
Oh, that's why it's
Van-
WV.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They played.
I'm thinking Mastodon.
Yeah. Now you're saying they
That's
play into their demographic. They're gonna. All they have to do.
Gary,
it's
the
like
people that use FM radio or people that want to hear songs from the 90s. The people that are using playlists on Spotify and
wrong.
Apple are the modern people.
Oh, wow.
What do you listen to music on?
Mainly like when I'm at work, like Spotify.
I understand that, but
Kids
sometimes
don't listen to FM.
If sometimes you don't have access to it for whatever reason, the only thing you have access to is an FM radio.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now.
Whether a kid being in a new car,
lost? What fucking world would I
I'm
be
going
in
to tell
where
you
I
right
wouldn't have
now.
access to
a kid
FM?
being in a used car that only has a radio. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If I'm working construction,
Right.
and I'm in charge of the radio for that day, I'm putting it on that station.
Yeah,
just to have playing.
Right.
Because I know no one will, it'll be amicable to anybody who walks in the room.
But it's such a rarity. Most people, even on construction sites.
Nobody on construction sites is, well, I don't know. They might be listening to drill music.
No.
Could you imagine walking in there? Hey, I'm here
and
to do
I've
the
been there on
fixtures.
construction sites, and you just turn the radio on. You turn your DeWalt on, you plug it in, and
So you know.
Yes.
I've been on construction sites this year.
Okay.
It's one DeWalt with a Bluetooth with the phone sitting on top playing a playlist.
Not always.
That's fine.
And sometimes that playlist is that type of music.
Yeah.
So
because once again, we're just playing with the demographic. It makes sense.
I'll give you an analogy. So let's say I'm going to give you a sports analogy, but whatever. Okay. So when you play,
I understand your sports analogies.
So
I
when
can
you're a
translate.
baseball team, right? And
Well, he knows baseball.
Yeah. So you're in the majors, right? You have a major league baseball team. What it was Sparky Anderson's famous quote. He said, "You're going to win 60 games and you're going to lose 60 games. Every team's going to do that. It's the other 40 games that matter." So the demographics they're just being lazy. They don't give a shit because they're going to get the same numbers regardless.
It's
so
not
nobody
lazy.
is deciding to say, you know what?
It's formula.
Let's just change. It's not going to change. If they change the playlist, no one's going to shut off 98 Rock. Like you said, nobody's listening to it anyway.
No, the old people will because they don't want to hear that
That's
shit.
not true. It's not just old people. It just depends
I'm
on what
considering
your
myself
situation-
in that same pocket.
I get that. I'm not.
But like if my in-laws are getting ready to come over on Saturday, if I play 9 Inch Nails for them, which is like my era's music that the kids today don't want to hear.
Right.
But if I play 9 Inch Nails, they're gonna be like, turn this shit the fuck
Yeah, no,
off.
I get it.
But they would have said that to you 20 years ago, too.
Exactly.
Yes, but the thing is,
That's my
the
point.
person who steps out of the comfort zone, who walks into their program studio and says, "You know what? I don't care. Fuck it. We're playing new shit."
Most people don't want to step out of the comfort zone.
But that's fortune favors the bold, right? Someone who says, "Fuck it, we're not playing this bullshit anymore." 98 Rock is supposed to be a rock station. We're not listening to the old shit.
What if
anymore.
they tried it and it failed?
So what? Then
No.
what do they have to lose?
But I'm saying, what if they did?
But what if it doesn't?
But what I'm saying, what if they already have?
What do they have to lose? They don't have a huge listening. You're limited in your stations, right? So like you said, so where do they go? They go to 98.5. They go to the Bay, or they go to Jack FM, or they go to sports radio is what I do. I mean, so if they decide to say, you know what, the Bay is playing the classic shit, you know what I mean, or whatever, let's try something different and see if we can, and it might work. And plus you're exposing new bands, and you have venues like you have M&T Stadium where now you could start selling tickets and bringing
There's not
talent.
there's not a lot of new bands.
There's just nothing to. There is a lot of new bands.
Dude, I check it every week.
Okay, well there's a.
I'm like, I'll go to
Well,
rock.
hang on. There's a difference between there being new bands, there being new bands with new music on iTunes, Bobby.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Because it's so easy. Like you have kids like making it in their fucking garage. They can put it on there now, and I'll see a new band from time to time. And like there's some like what is it, Grandma? I think is a band. It's like
all I'm saying is like there's no reason. There's no reason for Aerosmith to have more. Like Jack said, there's no reason for Aerosmith to have more air time than Greta Van Fleet right now. They've been around, there's no reason for Glorious Sons or The Pretty Reckless or even, different bands out there to be getting more airtime than the old shit because they just might find
the Pretty Reckless is a super popular band right now on digital streaming platforms.
Okay, I
because
get
it's
that.
playing to its demographic.
Exactly. So if it's popular there, it just might be popular on the other one, and it might also expose more to. But some people need free radio.
It's like saying why aren't VHS tapes selling to this generation?
No, it's not the same.
Why aren't they?
I don't think it's the same thing.
I think it is.
Maybe I don't know.
All right, how was your fucking Nerd Week? Let's just get into that.
My Nerd Week was good. I encouraged Jack to watch Last of Us. I did play both games.
Did you really?
I did.
Look
I
at
did.
you.
Well,
You big gamer.
Yeah. I did it on the PS4 though, not on a computer.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
but I also listen to free radio too. So
There's free radio on Spotify.
no, I get it. But I'm just not gonna let it get there. But like Jack told me, is like the first sequence in the show was directly out of the video game, 100%, which is heartbreaking because you know what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think you especially will be like, oof, it's rough, and and I'm watching with my wife and I'm looking over at her and she's kind of looking at me like, is this really going to fucking happen right now? And it does. I know it's going to happen. And the characters are very good, except for Ellie. I don't like her.
That's the young lady.
Yes, the one that post
the
pandemic.
The one.
Is she in the game?
Yes.
Is she like an unfaithful translation, or you didn't like her in the game either?
You don't like
No,
the
I
actress.
liked her in the
You don't
game
like
a
the
lot.
actress that's playing the character. Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
You don't like the portrayal.
I
the
don't.
Actress.
Okay. I don't.
All right.
I know what they're doing with her, and
I don't like it.
And I don't like it. What they're making her now, okay, in the very beginning, she gets there, but they sped it up. Like she's not, they made her too, I don't want to give anything away, but they made her too aggressive early, where she doesn't get there yet. They just throw it out there and they make her different than they did in the game. Like eventually she starts to, she evolves, but they've made her what she becomes early.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
And she doesn't look like her, which annoys me.
Yeah.
And
that kind of stuff drives me nuts.
yeah, the only thing is I could think of is that she, when they start them at that age, it's hard. You can't use that actor again because they changed so much. Like Marlene is the actress they use in the video game, and I'm watching the game. I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, she looks just like her. And then
was it really?
Yeah, because if you watch the after, they do a quick little wrap up of the show, and you realize she says, the first time I was when I was in the video game, and like, wow, she looks just like her. So
Now, like the motion capture or the voice or both?
It's both.
Oh, both.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I think the post-apocalyptic world. I think when I remember, it's been a while since I played it. What I remember is they make the city that they start out in Boston. I don't remember them being that many people in the city yet. It's very spread out where you see people. Like they have a whole city already, and I'm like, I guess they have to do something to make it more whatever. But I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. That's why. So, but he nailed it. He said it's the first series. The sequence is exactly how the game starts off.
Yeah, they're saying. I mean, that's all I've been reading is that like they're hoping that this breaks the video game curse of like every video game that gets adapted is fucking awful. But they say that this one's off to a good start. Anything else?
We watched the Jedi series on Disney Plus. I forgot what it's called.
Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, Tales of the Jedi.
That shit's good.
Yeah, it was actually really good. We got to see the backstory of Count Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn. It was very interesting.
Are you watching Bad Batch?
No, I have not watched Bad Batch yet.
I made an
really
effort this week, Christopher.
Okay.
I made an effort. We'll get to it, I suppose. Anything else?
No, like he said, we watched it. I just felt like that series went so quick. It was so good that we went through. What was it? 6 episodes.
It's also short.
It's
very short,
which was great because we were able to binge watch it right away. But then you're like, and I guess you always make them, make you want more. You know what I mean?
There's one where I was okay with it not being episodic because they were so short.
Yeah.
So it seemed like you were watching one movie. You know what I mean? Like you sit down, you watch like maybe one short film.
I got you.
Yeah. Christopher.
Yes.
How was your nerd week?
I watched some stuff. I
love to hear.
I hurt myself. Somehow I pulled. I guess I pulled a muscle somehow, like between my belly button and my groin. I don't know what it was. It was this incredibly. Well, no, I couldn't figure out what it was because it was just this weird pain, and it would be stabby sometimes, and sometimes it would go away and come back, and I don't know what it was. It like had me down.
Really?
Yeah, it fucking sucked. That being said, I did watch some things because I couldn't.
Between what in your belly button?
Like
groin?
Yeah.
Was it? You think it's a hernia?
I don't think it was a hernia. I mean, it doesn't hurt now at all. It just feels like a little sore. Like I think I just pulled a muscle somehow.
Okay.
I don't know, but it sucked.
Yeah. Doesn't sound good.
No.
It's amazing how you do that where you're like, oh, this hurts, and you can't remember where it's from, and could have been from sleeping.
It's the one thing about getting old.
It
too,
sucks.
Man.
I know.
It's like
it is,
dude. Like I got this weird aching feeling in my armpit, and I'm just like, what the fuck could I have done? Like, my first one was like, oh, cancer. That's it. I got armpit. I'm gonna be the first one to die from an armpit cancer.
Yeah. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, I always go to the worst.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
So I guess this is. Oh, What were you guys?
No,
go ahead.
Just talk. That's how it works. Just talk.
Oh yeah. So I guess this is like a recent event. How do you guys feel about James Gunn taking over DC and with the whole departure of Henry Cavill?
We have covered this, but like we are good with it. I think mainly. I think you're more excited about it.
I mean, I'm
than
not.
I am because you liked the Peacemaker a lot more. I liked it too, but I think that you liked it more than I did.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think I don't see him putting his spin on everything. I think he will have some projects where it's like it's going to be a fun romp.
Yeah,
but
I'm anxious. I'm curious.
I'm excited that there is a direction. Yeah. Any direction.
But I miss the Snyderverse. I'm upset that the Snyderverse didn't come to fruition.
I really liked Henry Cavill. He was an amazing Superman, and I really was upset that they just got rid of him.
I agree.
Well, now he gets to do Warhammer.
Yeah, and he's excited about that.
Yeah,
so we'll see. What do you got, Chris?
So I finally watched Dune.
Oh,
okay,
on HBO,
and
I really liked it.
I did too.
It ended abruptly like 2 nerd rages ago. Just stop.
Yeah, my fucking license expired.
What do you mean?
2 weeks ago, my fucking license expired. I got a text from work saying, "Hey," from Big Bro, saying, "Hey, your license good?" The MVA says it's not, and I was like, "Oh my god, of course it." Nope. I'm going right now. Forget it.
Yeah.
Thank God. Hey, that was a nice heads up, man.
It was beautifully shot.
It is. It's amazing, like aesthetically.
Mm-hmm. The story is a little confusing, I think, at first, because it doesn't explain. It's just things start happening. There's no opening crawl, Bobby.
There's not.
Yeah, somehow Palpatine returns.
Yeah, and I was a little lost. Joe came over here one day and like, because he's read all the books and all the like, and he's
deep in the lore.
He explained it all to me, and I understood it then, and I have since forgotten it for sure.
I'll tell you.
So you said you didn't read the books, or you did?
Me?
Yeah.
No, dude, I've not read them.
I remember like my dad reading those books in the early 80s. I remember seeing the book because it had like the worm on the front, and I thought it was cool. But the book was like 7 inches thick.
It's like the Bible. That's
Jesus.
It's War and Peace. Like I seen the original Dune in the movie theaters, and I will never ever watch the new one because of that, man.
It was so good.
It was fucking horrendous,
No,
man.
it's not it's not a treasured part of our childhood.
I remember,
so this is cool. And this is cool.
I think you'd like it.
And the dude who plays like the main character,
Timothy Chalamet Ding Dong.
They should have done like, I mean, obviously the time doesn't work out in terms of his age, but all I could see was like, that's fucking Anakin.
Yeah,
really,
that's fucking Anakin.
And I'll be honest with you. I watched a video on YouTube. It's a Screen Crush. It's a guy I watch all the time, but he had a video that said me explaining Dune to my dog.
Oh,
so
I need to watch that.
And it's basically this is Star Wars,
right?
Essentially,
is it?
Yeah, Star Wars was mostly inspired by Dune.
Yeah,
and, Seven Samurai or whatever.
Yeah,
huh.
Interesting.
So you guys should do yourself a favor and watch the original, and just
it doesn't sound like much of a favor.
God. Sting is in it, and
Patrick Stewart's in it.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah,
I've seen some pictures of it. Yeah,
but it's the visuals are great. The lore they're building is great. Like I said, it was a little confusing, but once I figured out like the whole screaming thing is just kind of, it's more of these aren't the droids you're looking for. That's basically the gist of his.
I think I will like it. I want to like it. Like I'm watching it and I'm like, I can tell this is good. Yeah. I don't quite understand it, but I know it's good.
It's got a great cast.
It's kind of like Tenet. Like I've
seen it.
So
Tenet was good.
So
yeah,
exact same thing.
I love Tenet.
I'm watching Tenet and I'm like, I know this is good. I know I'm not smart enough to understand it, but I'm gonna lean on the side of like it's above me, and it's just
I kind of get that, and that's why I just stayed away. Once I
figured it out, I'm like, okay.
Do you watch it a couple of times to get there, or
I did watch it twice.
I watched it twice,
and
too.
It's basically
What was the other one that was kind of like that?
Inception.
Was that with Leonardo DiCaprio? Okay, I never watched.
Oh, you're talking
about
Tenet. I thought you were talking about
no.
Dune. You watched Dune twice or Tenet twice?
Dune again?
Which one did you watch twice?
I watched Tenet twice.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Tenet was one of those movies where you have to like it's just there's so much going on. You have to just like there's a lot of thinking involved.
Yeah, you have to keep track of the timeline.
And that's kind of interesting that I said I watched it twice, because I guess technically I watched it 4 times, because basically in the movie you watch it forwards and backwards. It's kind of, I mean, seriously, that's how a movie's built. There's it's like if you have a piece of paper or the timeline, you fold it in half, and that's kind of how.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's,
it's kind of a mind fuck. But
anybody that shows up to the director's chair with a vest on, I'm like, all right, this guy's probably got his shit together.
I stacked. So what was the other one? Inception. Yeah, I didn't watch that one either.
Oh,
no, that's
dude,
good.
That's great.
And fucking Memento. I mean, the dude makes good movies.
I'm sure. Yeah, he very cerebral though, right? Very.
I mean, to an extent, you know, I mean, like they're all cerebral, I guess, but like to varying degrees.
Okay.
You know, because like Dark Knight, you know, that's cerebral in a sense, but it's
Batman. So,
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but like if you took the Batman out of that, it's still a good movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's kind of. I think that's the true barometer of a superhero movie.
I agree.
You take the superhero out of it, is it still?
Still good? Does it still stand?
Yeah, so to speak. I watched something that Kelly and I saw when it wasn't out in the theater very long, but it showed up on HBO. The Menu.
The Menu.
Oh, all right. So I'm going to take a shot at this. I never seen it, but I wanted to assume like the people are on the menu, right? They get eaten, or is that?
So that's what I thought.
Okay.
This has Ray Fiennes. Ralph Fiennes.
I'll go with
the actor. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know names. I mean, I probably know the guy, but I'm not good with names.
He was the killer in the Red Dragon. That
guy.
I think that's him. Maybe I'm wrong.
I like that guy.
Yeah. Do you understand? What was the question?
This is someone's. This is Jack. This is Jack changing. Do you see?
Do you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the premise is this is some. It's like $1,250 a plate or something to go eat this meal, and you go out. They didn't really say where they were, but you take a boat to this private island. And the restaurant is on this island. They give them a tour of like, here's the pigs that we keep, and here's the chickens, and here's the vegetables, and here's this and this. So everything is made on site. Here's the fishermen getting the scallops and the fish and all this. So you come and sit down, and there's, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 tables of people. You've got. If anyone remembers the show Who's the Boss, Judith Light, who is the boss, she's her and her husband. You've
Phenomenal
got
actress.
I think it's the guy who plays Beast in the like the First Class movies.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
That guy.
Okay.
And I think that's him.
Kelsey Grammer?
No, the next one. The next piece.
I think that's him there, the guy with his hand out.
Okay.
It looks like him.
Yeah, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Him and this girl who is like kind of like the focus of the whole thing. They're there. John Leguizamo's there as a washed up actor with his agent.
She played himself.
Kind of.
Oh, she was the girl.
What is she from? I know she's Strays.
I've seen her in the Unbreakable movies, the Glass and
she's in okay.
Yeah.
I think she's in Handmaid's Tale also, which is a popular show. I only watched a couple episodes of that. So
I'll go with it.
The presentation is the chef's there, and there's like, I don't know, 12 people maybe working as sous chefs in the kitchen. Then there's a food critic, and then like I guess her publisher maybe.
Okay.
Because every time she says something, he's like, "Oh yeah, definitely," blah blah blah, just smothering her with affection. And they start out the entrees and
one bite.
That guy would have loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a course called The Mess.
The Mess?
The Mess.
Okay.
And it begins with one of his sous chefs shooting himself in the head.
Sounds like a mess.
Like that's his job. Like you're
I don't want to spoil. I mean, if you want it was fine.
Oh,
It wasn't a great movie.
I'll take
Okay.
that. I'm good with that.
Are they trying too hard to be like artistic and edgy and
So it's kind of a
I
commentary.
usually like that stuff.
as long as they pull it off?
it's kind of a commentary on that exact thing, on being edgy and trying to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because everybody that's there is there for a reason. Like at one point in time, they have this, and he tells these stories about each entree. Kind of it. I don't know, man. It's a strange movie. It's almost worth a watch just because it's so strange.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
What's it on?
It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
You might have heard of it.
I love it. Big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's one you're not supposed to take pictures of any. You can't take pictures while you're there. That's like the thing.
Okay.
But there's one guy, the guy that plays Beast. He's like a super foodie, and he's like sneaking pictures and stuff. At one point in time, they send out.
no good.
He's gonna end up on the.
They send out the next thing, and it's like a chicken breast. And then there's like handmade tortillas, and it's funny. The life I lead, they have lasered images on everyone's tortillas, and so like the food critic, it's all her what do you call it? Reviews of these restaurants that have all closed because of her review.
Okay.
There's they call them the finance bros.
Okay.
And they've all got like their stock, all their shit that's corrupt, all their paperwork is burned onto these. The dude that's taking the pictures, there's pictures of him taking the pictures. And basically people die off.
Yeah.
And then somebody gets away. But the one thing is that girl that I showed you the picture of, when they get there, they know everybody already. They know your name. Hello, Mr.
The people hosting?
Yes.
Okay.
They know everybody's name. And they call this young lady Miss something. And they're like, that's not who I am. Because the guy had broken up with his girl. Turns out hired an escort to bring with him just to fill the seat because they don't sell seats for one. And it gets complicated. And they're like, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you here? And then there's a cheeseburger incident that...
Don't spoil it all.
Yeah.
All right.
You've probably seen the cheeseburger. Let's see. So Charlie, my youngest, is not into sports at all, but said, hey, could we get the NBA game for the PlayStation? I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a try. I haven't played
He's on fire.
I haven't played any sort of NBA game in years.
Right.
That was actually a good one. The one you
It sat next to the
NBA.
Mortal Kombat machine in my
Yeah,
bowling
yeah,
alley,
yeah.
so I always would hear it.
When you out at the tournament, you go, I'll play some basketball, and I tell it's my turn again.
I was never off.
Oh, is that right?
But I sent people over that way.
I mean,
Play some basketball.
I mean, honestly, NBA Jam was just Mortal Kombat with basketball players. There's not a lot of basketball skill to it. But so it turns out I've got one of the subscriptions to, like, I don't know, some PlayStation thing. It's like $10 a month or whatever.
All right.
And you get, you can download games, and it also gives you trials of stuff. I'm like, well, there's a trial. Let me download the trial. Because let's be honest. My kid oftentimes wants to do stuff, and then as soon as we do it, he's like, oh, fuck this is. I don't want to do this. And I kind of had a feeling this would be it. So we start playing the game, and we're playing against each other. He always wants to play on teams, like play on the same team. And I get that. But like that game, like, I'm like, where are you? Like, he would like be like, so we ended up playing against each other, and I was just, he was playing with the Warriors. I'm like, just give it to Curry and shoot threes. That's all you got to do. Mm-hmm. And like the poor kid, like, and he's a whiz at games, but he plays on the computer, and that's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like he got a gaming tower for Christmas, so he's definitely, but like the PlayStation controller, you just like, to pass the ball in from out of bounds.
Any way that you guys could like train? Oh, wait, you know what?
We ain't talking about the game. We talking about practice, man.
Is there any way for you? Is there any way for you guys to practice like without?
We could.
Okay, all
we
right.
could, but it's more of
Allen Iverson.
It's more of
Yeah.
I mean, look, you press the X button to pass the ball in, or you can press the triangle and it does that slow roll where the clock doesn't start.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, he kept doing like, bro, press X, don't press that, because I would just steal the ball every time.
Right.
And I was probably I got tired of repeating myself. Gary, you know this.
How
many times?
Jack just got the chills.
Yeah.
He said that.
I mean, like, and he finally gives up, and I'm like, fine, I'll just put it on CPU. Luckily, I was up 30 points because the CPU was a lot better than I thought. But I had a good time. But I mean, I doubt all actually about the game.
At the end of the day, it's was bloody all about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I got to spend 2 hours with my kids. So
Jack,
Yeah.
remember that Batman game we had? I forgot which one it was. It was awesome. It was on one of the game consoles we had, and when you were trying to do the puzzle, and like after like a couple of minutes, I started.
It was Arkham Asylum.
It was.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, it
like,
sounded
come
like
on, man.
Arkham.
Yeah. I'm like, I forgot what like it was all like the connecting the neon lights.
Dude,
to
some
do
of that shit
whatever.
is hard.
It was,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, you got to get the green to the yellow.
What are you
Dude,
doing?
You go, dude.
Give it here. Those are some of my.
Give it here. At least it would be in the other room. Like, would you cut this shit?
And then Nick would be like, Nick would be just hiding like in the doorway.
Hiding. Oh shit! It was worse than I thought. And talking shit or being
Dude,
out.
I get busy on this fucking Doom game. Like my kids were upstairs and they like Laura's cooking and they were like, is he okay down there? and Laura's like, he's playing a game and they're like, oh, good for him.
And then there was one time I forget which game I was playing, but I actually like kind of just, I didn't throw the controller, but I kind of just slant.
Dude, I've thrown many a controller in my day.
But like my dad was like, he was like, if it's not fun, don't play it. I'm like, yeah, you're talking.
I'm like, God sucking motherfucking my wife's just like too much.
Yeah. So Lisa has a video of me playing a video game, and I got a headset on like this, and I look not great. I'm like, I'm trying to find it right now, and hopefully it doesn't take too long to break. But I'm kind of like, ugh. I'm playing. What game am I playing? I'm playing. It's pretty recent. I'm playing
Resident Evil.
Yeah, I'm playing the new Resident Evil Biohazard, which
Is it good?
It is, but it's creepy, man. Like the other Resident Evils were good. Like I love
scary.
Yeah, I like too. But this one's like creepy. Like the beginning of it is almost like the family's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you end up there with a family of these people, and you got to like get through their mansion, and this guy keeps. Anyway, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But But there's this one guy who you can't fucking kill, and even though you kill him, he keeps regenerating. It's almost like where this whole thing started. Like they were like the Test family.
Okay.
Umbrella.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. But this guy, like, you cut him with a chainsaw, and he always comes back at certain times of the thing. He's fucking scary.
Yeah.
And so, after like 17 times, you kill him like 10 times in one sequence, but he keeps coming back. And I want to get past it because I want to see what's going on next.
Sure.
Anyway, that's what she's videoing, and it's fucking disturbing.
Yeah, if you can find it. You can find it.
When she videoed that, I don't remember that.
What's that?
When she videoed that,
Not that long ago. And like I said, I got a headset on. I'm sitting there, and I'm like,
Dude, having a headset on to me is nuts. It's nuts.
Well, yeah.
Just to see you, I hope it has the little fucking
It's
speaker.
terrible.
In front.
I'm drooling. I'm like,
You ever play online?
What's that?
I would love to hear you play online.
I'd
It's like
never
a bunch of
played a
15-year-old
game.
kids just calling you the N-word.
Yeah. I've never played a game online in my life.
if you see somebody playing a game with a headset on, you don't disturb them. Like you
Well, the game is so disturbing that you don't want other people in the room listening to what's happening. Like I'm like, I mean, not if the curses aren't even the bad. Like it's a bad it's a bad game, And like I said, I'm curious to see what happens next, but I put it down. Like I can't get past that
because I watch some of those like play along videos every now and then. Like it'll be like the the 10 worst play alongs, and I'm like, dude, like these kids are using this disgusting word, like it's going out of fucking style. But I do like the one. My favorite one is that one where it's like there's Call of Duty. It's a Call of Duty, and they're on the guys coming up the elevator, and they all put their guns away, and they're like, let's just beat the shit out of this dude when he comes up.
Oh, I saw some of those. Yeah, those are great.
It's like,
and they talk to each other.
Yeah, and they just all put their
Put your guns down.
Yeah, and but like you can't like store them, so you just see the other kids are just like throwing the guns on the ground.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then they're all like this, and this dude like comes up the elevator shaft, and they all just beat the shit out of him.
That's amazing. Yeah, that was where the Leroy Jenkins thing came from. Remember?
One of those things.
Yeah, where he's like, "Fuck it." He just
I ever tell you about a situation that happened that I heard about. That was it was near where I grew up. And this guy, they were playing online, and they were playing. I think they were playing a Call of Duty, and this guy was like found this respawn spot or whatever, and was like killing this dude every time he respawned, and they're like on the headsets, and this dude's like talking shit, you know what I mean? Like no, go ahead, And this guy's like, dude, I'm gonna beat your ass in real life. And he's like, yeah, well, good luck. I live on 3456 6th Street. And he's like, 6th Street? 6th Street, you say? 6th Street? This is zip code? He's like, yeah, motherfucker, see you in hell. And he's like, yeah, I live on such and such. Stand by. Gets off the phone. Gets a Uber. Goes to this dude's house. Goes in his house. Beats his ass. Comes out of the house, gets back in the Uber, goes home.
Are you serious? That's
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, it gets that frustrating. So if someone like I was getting that mad at the TV, at the game that no one's on the other side, I could see getting that pissed off when someone's fucking doing that.
So it was in.
Oh yeah.
The person that got their ass kicked was in Savage, and the ass kicker was off Oakland Mills Road.
Oh, no shit. That was...
Yeah. And he went over there and like, I happened to be in Savage at the time. And the grandma was like outside crying, like, please come. Like fire department comes and she's like, he just kept hitting them and hitting them and hitting them.
God. Dude, that's a lot of aggression, man. Like, because
great.
That is great.
Lesson learned, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully you calm down on that Uber ride, but I guess.
Yeah. Dude, well, remember that? What movie was that with Vince Vaughn? Was it The Breakup where he's playing that 12-year-old in Madden?
Yeah.
And he's just giving the kid.
He probably just listened to 98 Rock the whole way to keep him focused, keep his angst up.
You got anything else this week?
Bad Batch, but I got one more thing. Unfortunately, we lost somebody in the wrestling community. Jay Briscoe was a ROH
local guy too, right?
Yeah, he was in Dello. He was him and his brother are. I think I've talked about them where they're chicken farmers in the lower Delaware. And Family Guy is him and his two daughters were in going somewhere Tuesday afternoon, and somebody got in the wrong lane and hit him head on.
Oh my god,
he died. One of the girls is like.
There's been some weird energy out there this year.
Absolutely.
One of his two daughters. One of them is in stable condition. The other one is like having surgeries to try to see if she's going to be able to walk again.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And that's what I try to explain it to him. I'm like, sometimes people just do the craziest shit on the road.
No,
man.
you don't know. I mean, somebody can have an aneurysm, or they're drunk, or just
and here's
texting.
a guy who's for all intents and purposes, a professional athlete.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But he's been jumping off freaking roofs and landing on his back for 20 years, and now blink of an eye, he's gone.
There's
and if he doesn't have the, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say there's a guy that we know who just lost his son recently, and I'll be putting that GoFundMe in the notes if you want to check it out. But lost his son in a fucking snowboarding accident, and like just fucking dude, like
it's the ones to me. I mean, like I'll be honest,
weird shit out there this year,
and these are highly capable people,
right?
You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
like both of them. Like, I see pictures of this other guy you're talking about, like playing baseball, and obviously he was like, summa cum laude. Is that
what?
He graduated like head of his class in college or whatever. And playing ball, you could see he's got reaction time. He's got whatever.
Got shit together.
Yeah, and it's like, and this guy, professional wrestler. I mean, like I said, he's a professional athlete. And he didn't have the reaction time to be able to react. So it's just gotta keep your head on a swivel, man. It's fucking crazy.
It's the ones you never think about that. Like it tore me up a bit. I'll be honest with you, man.
Yeah, man. And then, like, you can go anytime. You can just go. Like driving to get a burger. That it could just be some fucking maniac that goes off the road and smacks you into a fucking light pole, and it's curtains.
And we are built so fragile. Considering
we are. We're meat sacks. We're meat sacks.
Turtle shells.
But like, you don't realize like he wrestled. He wrestled for Ring of Honor, which is actually like a Baltimore-based promotion who recently got bought by the guy who owns AEW. But like he's wrestled there for 20 years, and if you look at the current roster of stars in like WWE, they all came through and they all know him. And like the Twitter was I don't get on Twitter a lot, but stuff like this happens. Like, man, it was heartbreaking reading all those like stories, and
it sucks, man. I mean, it sucks, especially for anybody. But
and when people very rarely would speak ill of people when they pass, so it's all this great guy, and I don't doubt that. But I guess to lighten the mood a little, I did see something last night I thought was funny. It says, if I pass away suddenly, don't tell people I lit up a room. Don't tell people I was magnetic. Bro, I got 2 friends. Tell that to CNN. I just thought it was that was funny. It's like if something happens to me, don't tell people I lit up the room when I
Nobody's gonna do that. like they all like, you know, like it's like, dude, wouldn't it be great if you could have these like funeral cuts? It's like almost like a sketch, like real funeral speeches, like real memorial speeches.
I'm gonna be real with you. That dude owes me $20. I need somebody to settle up, or I'm gonna just stand up here and keep talking.
Here lies Frankie. And as all 6 of you know, he wasn't very well liked.
But I liked him.
Man, you want to know, like,
you ever notice when someone's talking, like, you know, unfortunately, we've been in situations like that, and you can kind of tell that the person really didn't like them.
Oh my God.
You're like,
yeah,
you know, you read between the lines a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like, well, it's like, don't even take that spot. Like, I'm not saying.
I can
anything.
say I've been to a wedding and heard people that were in the wedding party, their speech, and to think, you do not care for these people in the least. And you just told everybody that.
What about people that you can tell are getting like a super religious service and weren't very religious? So like the person doing all the talking, it's like clear as day. They have no fucking clue who the person is.
Yeah.
You know?
So you sat through my 4-hour seminar for $750 so I could marry you. But past that, I have no idea who you are.
Dude, when my buddy Brutus passed, there was a couple of interesting things. He was he grew up with us, but the service was in West Baltimore, and like we came, like I went and you could spot me from a mile away in this neighborhood. I'll say that. And I got
because you didn't have any hair.
Yeah, it's because I was bald. And but I tell you, it just brought more attention. I'll tell you that. So anyway, I got out of the car, and there was these guys on the corner of the spot that we were, and I reached back in the car to get a backpack or something I was going to take in, and I turned back around. They're gone. They're long gone. And I was like, oh, yeah. I just wanted to yell out, like, I'm not the police. I'm just here for a fucking funeral. You guys can relax.
Were you in a black sedan, maybe?
I was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Did
anyway.
you screech when you came in? Like,
bent the corner.
Yeah, coming on 2 wheels.
Yeah, but I'm at this fucking funeral, right? And this dude is giving this, like, I mean, he's trying to get the whole fucking room indoctrinated into this service. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to come up here and get saved and all this? And like, my buddy Shane, who said my basement is stupid, he got up and started walking out, and the guy was like, who wants to get saved? And he got up to walk out, and you don't walk away now. Come up here. And he was like, say, look, man. Now
I'm on the spot.
You know, it is kind of like his family dynamic is like very similar to mine, and like Irish Italian guy. And he was like, look, I came here to say goodbye to my friend, not to like join your cult or whatever. Like, I'm out. And just roll.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but so AEW and Ring of Honor are technically the same company, but so this guy that passed away, he had tweeted out some stuff like in 2013, very like homophobic stuff. Mm-hmm. He said he did it in his wrestling. It was because
in character.
It's his wrestling character's handle, not him personally. Because long story short, he TNT, like Discovery Warner, would not let him be on TV because of things he said, which is crazy. If you think about, like, this same company is about to let Ezra Bridger's shit kind of fall under the water, under the rug, as we say, so they can put out this fucking movie. But this, I don't know. That just kind of sucked because they didn't really get to do a tribute. Oh, they did film a tribute show. And hey, what's up? What's up, Goggles? What's up, Goggles?
It's my alter ego.
With bloody 4 eyes.
It's just kind of a shame that you didn't get to do it. But even like WWE was live on the air when the news broke, and they even like made a comment. They're like, we just want to mention the passing. And apparently they had some sort of funeral segment for one of their angles that they scrapped at the last minute.
Really?
And ran with something else. Yeah.
Well, that whole thing. I'm sorry.
Are those cheaters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cheaters.
Look at you, man.
Yeah, I know.
Falling apart.
Well, because I'm trying to look for something, I don't want to distract every. You know,
I think
because when people do that to me, like
I think it's time I go for the exam.
But going off of what you said, that whole thing is a disaster. He wrote something in 2013. I mean, I'm sure you guys have, but who cares?
Well, and you know what?
It was 2013.
He apologized publicly twice,
and that's the kiss of death.
And donated.
It is the kiss of death.
You never apologize.
Well,
you can't.
He didn't apologize. He said, "Look, I understand how this was taken. This was me saying this in this because the character he played, they were super like redneck.
Oh yeah, I've seen him.
Trash.
I mean,
yeah.
they used to ride around with Traffic Jam Jimmy."
Remember Traffic Jam Jimmy?
And considering all the shit that he did to him, he was still a nice looking guy, man. It was crazy.
Tattooed and bearded.
Yeah. But, and I've seen him before. Like I don't watch wrestling, but I know he's local.
I mean, local-ish, I guess. Yeah.
And he seemed like a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
You know, and
they seem to be good. I mean, they're family guys, and they literally own a chicken farm. They sell eggs.
But that whole thing, man, people reaching back into the past and just destroying people. It's insane, and it just needs to stop.
He the next 2 shows he did, he donated his salary to some organization. Also, I mean, I don't know what else you want people to do, and it's been 10 fucking years.
Well, that's
they want you in the fucking gallows, man. They want to throw tomatoes at your face.
Yeah, but like I said,
exactly.
But you gotta, it's gotta be across the board. Like I said, the stuff like the kid that plays the Flash has done all these batshit crazy stuff, and they're gonna put that movie out.
But it's not. There's not consistency.
No.
But the thing is also
the mob wants what the mob wants.
Right, but who's really judging? All these people that just have never been recorded at their worst or whatever moment it is are acting like they've never done or said anything that is worthy of them being on. But
shit changes, man.
And shit changes. Your point of view changes, or your life changes, or
like your kids are. Our kids might grow up and be like, "Can you believe my parents fed me out of plastic containers?"
Yeah,
the monsters. And it's like we didn't know.
Yeah,
it was a different world. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds away, but it's
does.
You are. The people, the citizens are dictated by the society, by the culture. And if the culture changes, cool. But it's like, it's not the way to go about it.
Yeah. And to move away from that,
what's wrong with plastic containers?
That's what I'm saying.
They might find
in
something.
50 years they find out that it's the worst.
I thought I was missing something.
Let's say it causes autism. It causes and then they're like my parents, the monsters. Can you believe it? It's like everybody did.
The dye that they used to make this mug this color is cancerous, and we've been using, or like. A water bottle it's whatever BPA, whatever.
Right. I mean, other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Jack will tell you there's ways I've raised him or done things that probably seem kind of harsh now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And even like, I'm like, you know what I mean? It's kind of... Damn, I wish I'd come down from somehow in that Batman game. And
I think you should tell. I think, like, if you guys want to do some storytelling, I think you should tell the story about the fucking walking to school, because that's one of my personal favorites.
Oh yeah.
Do you want this one? Well, I mean, we have video.
Do you still have that video?
I do, but it hasn't. It's somewhere in the one of the computers or whatever. Gotcha. But I don't know if I could. I hope we could find it because it's classic. But
tell the story. Somebody.
I think I was like, I want to say either 5th or 6th grade. I was definitely, I think I was in middle school, but I was getting ready for school, and I think I had like a test that day. So like, I was like, I had to like study for it. And then I was running really late, and I think my dad warned me. He's like, "You missed that bus. You're walking." Mm-hmm. And
there was a lot of bus missing.
Oh yeah, I know the vibes.
Yeah. I mean, he's glossing over a little bit. I was studying for a test, and all right.
So I just wrapped up my community service.
Jack, I like what you're trying to do there.
I woke up around 3 o'clock every morning so that I could feed at the soup kitchen and then try to get home to go to school.
No, but like that was the big issue. Like I think like.
But in all fairness, there was a test involved,
but like the night before, I think was like Halloween or something. So like I didn't study the night before. So
what kind of monster gives you a test?
I don't believe that. I don't know if that was included either.
Yeah, it sucks.
So anyway, you missed the bus.
Yeah, so I missed the bus. I'm walking to the bus stop, and the bus, and the bus is gone, and I'm turning around, and I'm walking to the car. He's like, "Where are you going?" I'm going in the car. No, you're not. Start walking.
I'm going in the car.
I didn't miss shit.
Well, I'm watching them, we're gonna do this together. If that's all right, bud. So there's the bus stop, right? So between my house and the bus stop, there's a corner. So he's on the corner looking at the bus stop, which I can't see, and I'm at my front door watching him on the corner looking at the bus stop, which I know that ship has sailed already. Right?
There's like no kids out there.
Yeah. He's looking at it. He's looking back, and I'm holding my coffee at the door, and he's looking.
Looks pretty desolate out there.
Right, and so and he's going. He's looking at the bus stop, and he's looking back at me, and I'm just sipping my coffee.
Are you too early? Is that the problem? You're probably too early.
Right. Once again, we just been above it, away. Right.
And then
Too
And then
early.
he's driving really slow as I'm walking, and he's recording me with filming me on his phone.
Well, it happened twice. Right. So the first time, okay, again, we're gonna do this together, right? So the first time I walked with him. Okay. I'm like, all right, let's go.
It was pouring.
For our listeners, how long of a walk is, or how far is this trek?
About 2 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about like, wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and it is raining fucking sideways. Okay. I mean, so we had an umbrella that got turned inside out because we were walking. I'm holding it in front of me like the penguin in the old freaking cartoons. And he's walking behind me. And, and our neighbor, this great friend of ours, Laura, whose son went to school in the same elementary school, made the bus. All right. But she's
all right.
Yeah.
I'll never be like him.
Yeah, in all fairness, she might have been a little too young for that. Anyway, good, nice work.
Yeah.
So, hold on 1 second. Hey, bud, on a podcast, call you back. So she's driving up while we're walking into this storm, and she's like, "Get in the car." I'm like, "Oh no, we're doing this."
Yeah.
And she's just following us all the way to school, and I'm like, dude. So we're both taking an ass kicking. I think there was hail involved at this point in time.
Oh yeah.
So
and it was so uphill too.
No shoes. So we finally get to the school. And Nurse Smith and the principal comes in. We walk in, and you would think that we just got thrown out of a car after being kidnapped and whatever, and just landed on the steps of the school. And we came in, and we just look like as bad as you could possibly look. Like we just got out of a fucking monsoon. So the principal's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Well, I told the story," and Nurse Smith is like, just staring at me, and I'm not sure how to take it. I love Nurse Smith. She was the fucking best.
Yeah.
So the principal takes Jack, and I'm walking behind with Nurse Smith, and she's like, "Good for you."
Yeah.
But he had to go to the nurse's office because we needed to change the clothes. He couldn't go through school like this. And the sneakers had to go in the dryer. So we called Lisa. Lisa comes and brings
your wife.
Yes, my wife. Lisa comes and brings change of clothes for him, not for me.
Right.
So,
Thoughtful.
Yeah. So he goes to school. All's good, right? So now we could go. I'll let you take over. Now, sorry, Jack. I didn't mean to run away with that.
No.
The second time.
Yeah, second time. So
Yeah, he. So we talked about the whole build up thing. Yeah,
But the second time it's raining again, isn't it? Or no?
the
I don't
second time,
remember.
no, it was cloudy.
It was cloudy.
But we were ramping up now. The pattern started happening again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, man, like.
So you're going to the car, and he says, "No, I'm going to the car."
And then he tells me to start walking because I didn't, because I was like, you were actually serious.
Yeah.
So and he's driving slowly as I'm walking, filming me on his phone. He's like, "Having fun?"
How do you feel about your decisions today? You feel good?
Yeah, and this is where the math test was come. I'm like, hope you studied for that test. And so what did you start doing
I started I guess I started skipping just to like piss you off.
Yeah, he started doing that kid shit like it doesn't hurt. And so he starts skipping. I'm like, so I forgot what I was saying to you, but
you were like, "It's fun acting like a dipshit in the morning, isn't it?"
And then you started skipping. I'm like, that looks really cool. I'm going to show that to your prom date in 10 years. And he's given as good as he's getting now because he's trying to just so we're going back and forth. And remember the car pulled up?
Yeah, tell me. I remember that. Tell that part.
So this car comes screeching up and and I get it. Like the dude's like, who is this fucking weirdo filming this kid?
Exactly.
And he's like, hey man, what are you doing? I'm like, hey man, mind your fucking business.
It's like Adam Sandler and Big Daddy.
Yeah. And I get like this guy might.
Hey man.
Yeah. And you know what? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to completely fuck. Like, this guy's doing the right thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, man. I'm like, he's mine. He missed the bus.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, good for you, man. And
so I'll tell you, I had one incident similar to that with my daughter, Jana. She was a kid. I don't even think Selena was around yet. We were at Chick-fil-A getting lunch or something. It was just me and her. Laura was at work, like, and there was a piece of trash on the floor, and she kicked it. And I lost my motherfucking mind.
Oh, no.
And I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, kicking that trash. And I was like, if you can kick it, you can pick it up. So she picked it up and she put it in the trash and like was ready. And I was like, oh, no, we're not done. And I took her around to every table to see if anybody needed anything picked up or trash thrown away or whatever. Like, I was fucking furious.
Yeah, it just hits you for some reason.
Yeah. And like, I hate shit like that. It's just like people that like put wash me on shit. Like, if you can do that, you can wash it. But like, so she kicked this fucking thing, and then I went around and like they went to this old couple who were obviously done, and they were getting ready to get up, and I was like, no, sit tight, she's gonna get that for you. And like she went and like took the tray over, dumped the trash, like, and all that shit. And they were like, why does she work here? And I was like, no, she kicked a piece of trash, sir. So she's gonna learn a little bit about putting trash in the right place to put it. And he was like, good for you. The older generation, they love that to see that shit.
Yeah, they do. No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
There was one time I worked at a movie theater, and I was
Wrong button.
And I was actually in the middle of cleaning a theater with actually my manager and one other of my coworkers, and this I think this little girl and her grandma were leaving, and then she leaves her drink there, and she's like, "Are you done with that drink?" The little girl goes, "Yeah, that's why I left it." And and then my manager goes, "Well, we have trash cans." And then she's like, "Oh yeah, you're absolutely right." And then she starts counting to 3 to get up and to go back and throw the drink away.
The manager was talking to counting 3, or the mother?
No, the grandmother.
It would have been even better. She's like, "You're right. 1, counting the trash cans. 1, 2.
That's where I thought he was going. You got 3 of them. Bye.
You guys are well prepared. Have a good one."
But yeah.
So he ended up walking to school, and we got to this road where it was, it's a road. I mean, it's a little highway.
Pavement.
And we stop and we make eye contact. Remember Jack? Yeah. Jack looks at me and he's like, throws his hands and like, how far are we doing this?
And this school was further because the first time I was in elementary school, the second time I was in middle school, right?
Is that right? No, I don't think so.
Was it closer? I don't even remember.
No, same school. Same school. I think
the first. This was.
I mean, I don't remember that, but it was the same vicinity.
Did you walk the whole rest of the way? Or did you cave? You caved.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you, your father, he might give you shit at home, but I can tell you firsthand, I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but in front of those doors, you could do no fucking wrong. We were at a restaurant when you were just a little thing, and you picked up this rock and threw it. And there's a big fucking rock. Threw it into the middle of the street where fucking cars are coming and shit. And your father was like, "Oh, who puts these fucking rocks here on the side of the
I did?
We were at Outback. I remember like it was, and you had a good arm. Yeah. I was like, "You see the arm on that kid?" And Bobby's like, he threw a rock. I'm like, "Who puts fucking rocks?"
Why they put so many rocks?
I must have been really young.
Well, I am so thank you, Bobby, for explaining. Because I don't know if he understands. That sometimes.
Yeah, there was the same day we went to this like park afterwards. It's actually funny. There's a couple funny stories here.
I must have been really young.
You were.
You were. It was 07.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or 06, 07. 07?
Had to be 08, almost 07.
No, because we were 07.
Okay.
No, I think we were in school.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right. So,
and you were at this park, and this kid was like pushing kids on this zip line. Like people were like getting up on this zip line, and he was pushing them. And
okay.
You stood in line for it, and he pushed you, and you fell off of it. And then you like fell down on the ground before you had a chance to even figure out what was going on. Your father ran over there and was like, "What are you doing?" to this other kid. And he was like, "Well, you can't push too hard, all right? He's a little kid. You can't push too hard." And then he like walked over, and he's like fucking kid, fucking Jackie Robinson over there.
So. That's funny. I actually have another insane story. I was told this. I don't remember. I was really young when this happened. I don't like. I was told about this one, but I was like maybe like 2 or 3 years old, and we were at a museum, and I guess there was this like play area where like a bunch of toys and stuff, and a bunch of little kids running around. There was like a play kitchen. So I actually ran out with like a piece of like plastic toast hanging out of my mouth, and my dad,
It was a fucking petri dish.
My huge big germaphobe, and I'm running out. He's like, no! And then he picks me up, runs me into the bathroom, and starts washing out my mouth.
Dude, everything went into like slow motion, man. Remember? Yeah. I was like, no! And I was talking to Lisa and saw it. She had no idea. I started stiff-arming kids to get to him. I just full-on slapped the shit out of his fucking mouth. Grabbed, you thought the kid pushed him hard off the zip line? Grabbed him by his collar and like just dragged, like his feet wasn't even running. I just dragged him to the
Keep your mouth open and don't swallow till I tell you.
Just smacking his tongue with water. Yeah, he's like, you had no idea. The things you do for love, man, and you just traumatize this poor kid.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Dude, you had to see it though. Like I'm sitting there talking, and he's in like, and there's like 100 people there, and he's just running down the freaking, like he said, just the toast hanging out of his mouth. I'm like, what the fuck?
So let me tell you, not that this is the same scenario, but it does deal with a bit of embarrassment revolving around my kids.
Yeah.
I'm at a fucking aquarium, right? The Baltimore Aquarium.
Okay.
I got Jaina. Jaina's young. We go into the aquarium. We didn't have a coupon. It's like if you're from this area, like you can get into the aquarium for like next to nothing most of the time because there's coupons fucking everywhere. This particular day, we couldn't get a coupon, but she really wanted to go. My wife. So we went. I'm in the elevator, and because Jaina is like a fucking terror, and she was a well-behaved kid. Of my three, she's easily the most well-behaved consistently.
Right.
She just was a nightmare. Just like whining, just wouldn't keep up, wouldn't walk where we told her to, wouldn't like follow directions, like simple directions, just a fucking nightmare.
Sounds like Nikki.
And then she started crying, and I was like, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to get that together, or we're out of here. And my wife looks at me like, oh shit, because my wife is we'll turn this car around, but everybody knows we already booked the fucking vacation, we're 100% going, but like if I say it, I'll be like, fuck that $5,000,
right?
Fuck it, it's a point to be proved.
Right.
You know. So I got her.
It'll come back in character.
So I'm like 1, 2. I never did 2.5. I didn't play that shit. 1, 2, 3. We're done. And I picked her up, and Laura's like, Bobby, it was 107. And I was like, we're done. And we got to the elevator. She's still fucking crying. Now she's crying because she's leaving, right? And I like have her against my chest. The fucking thing goes down. One flight, fucking 6 people get on this fucking thing. You know what I mean? And she's still crying, and I'm just holding her. Restricting her because she wants to flail around. She bites my shoulder.
Oh my.
I grabbed her by her shoulders and I was like, motherfucker! And the whole elevator looks at me like I just was like I was gonna rip her head off, like they needed to call someone, like child services or something. And I've never put my hand on my kids, because of my history. But like I was like, motherfucker! And I had her by her shoulders, and like I was just like with the Selena thing with the get on your fucking feet. And like I'm like I can see everybody looking at me, and I want to be like, look, I've actually been pretty calm about this. There's been some stern rules in place, but I've been pretty calm. I just lost it there, and I understand that, and I apologize. But I'm not going to actually hurt the child. I just want her to know it's unacceptable.
Right.
But I didn't say any of those things. I just fucking rammed her back against my chest and got the fuck out of there. Anyway, was there anything else on your nerve?
We up to speed on the Bad Batch.
So I am 1 episode shy. I watched 1 through 3. I got to tell you, 1 and 2, I thought you were on an Andor high. I was like, this is the same shit.
You think so?
3, I was like, this is good.
It's good.
3 was
really
good.
It might be the best episode of the series.
So
Okay.
the Bad Batch is a new series of Bad Batch.
Yes,
right?
season 2.
I remember you always told me
Bad
to
Batch,
watch
yes.
it. And we watched one episode.
No, I did not tell you to watch it. It's awful. The first season was awful.
No, just
Was
didn't
it
they have
really?
like in the original Clone Wars?
Yeah.
They had like a
So-
episode, the
Yes,
Bad Batch.
that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a series of there. I know
they
there's
did
a
a
kid.
series.
They have this kid they're dragging around. Who I think she's become more of an asset than a let's go save her.
Yeah, she's better
She has
now.
a different
Okay.
dynamic.
She's better now.
Episode 4. I watched.
I'm still behind there.
Yeah, it came out this week or whatever. But it's a fun episode. You probably will hate it.
Well, like maybe.
Let's just say if you like pod racing, but with weapons, but with weapons.
Pod racing.
Now
Phantom
this,
Menace.
It's called Riot Racing.
now this is pod racing.
Yeah.
But that's when I when I told you the story. I for my birthday, I was 25, and he wasn't born yet. I was still living with my wife. She was, whatever, and she bought me and all my friends tickets to go see Phantom Menace for my birthday.
And you were thrilled, right?
Oh my god! I was like,
You were like, you
whatever.
see, fucking this guy's name's Jar Jar Binks. He's gonna be the shit.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the
love
moment,
that
in the
story.
moment, I enjoyed the fun. I think I went and saw that 7 times.
I saw
in
it
the theater,
12 times
just
in the theater.
because it
Really?
was new Star Wars.
Yeah, I
And
loved it.
You didn't realize how goofy that was till probably all 3 of them. I mean,
I think around the 6th viewing, I started to see it, but the things that I liked about it,
overpowered.
they overpowered it.
Oh man, how you're a lot younger than I am. See, I was
But what's
25,
funny
so
is
my patience was.
We had
think we're
an
that
exact
much different.
same experience. Because
better.
in my memory serves, your wife apologized for it. Did she not in the film?
She apologized, not for it. She was like sympathetic.
Right, that's what I mean.
She's like,
I'm
I'm
so sorry for how bad this is.
Well, she
Right.
could see the tears coming down, like coming down my eyes. You know what I mean? She's like, "You're not having a good time," and I'm like, I'm just like pointing at the screen, like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, Jar Jar.
Yeah, and all my friends are like,
Annie.
yeah. Oh my god.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
He does some good ones, man.
So the one that I had was Transformers, live action Transformers.
I could imagine.
My wife
that deaded Transformers for me.
Did it?
Laura,
I sold
for
all
me
my shit
too.
at the time.
For me too.
See, I didn't hate it. You see,
Laura
'cause-
put her hand on my thigh and was like, "I am so sorry."
see, they know
I'm
us,
so
and that's
sorry.
why we're married.
I was just like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
This was the Shia LaBeouf one, the original,
the first one.
See, I didn't hate it as much as you guys did because I wasn't as vested in
Right, in the-
Transformers as you were.
right.
The last thing I saw was Return of the Jedi, right? So I'm like,
Well,
what
I'll be
the
honest with you,
fuck?
which
like-
you didn't like either.
Which I did. Return of the Jedi was kind of like what you said. Like after like the 7th, 8th, 9th, 5th. I probably saw it. I had a movie theater down the street from my house.
Dude.
Oh yeah, and when I can tell you, it was the greatest thing in our fucking neighborhood. It was literally, I walked to a dead end down the block, made a right, went through a little guardrail and into a park. It looked like the beginning of The Outsiders. And
Right,
walked to
right,
the
right,
fucking
right,
movie
right.
theater, and we spent every fucking day,
Right.
every night, I should say, in the summer there. So that's why I could recite some movies because I've seen them 70 fucking times.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
And it
right.
but it was a lot of fun. Anyway, so I saw Return of the Jedi like 1,000 times, and all of a sudden, like you said, on the 6th, 7th, 8th
Yeah.
time, you're looking at it, and your head's like,
You know what bothers me
I
about
didn't love Return of the Jedi.
You did it?
I mean, I liked it, but it was definitely the worst out of the original trilogy.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll buy that.
It's the movie. You know what line it is in that movie that sticks with me. It's like if they just removed this line, I'd be okay
Can't
with
wait to
it.
hear it.
An entire legion
Oh yeah,
of my best troops awaits them.
we had
Yeah,
that conversation.
If it was just like all of our newest recruits are there,
Right.
we're training them
Right.
for this. I'd be like, oh, no wonder they
But
beat
you know
these
what?
guys aren't
If-
seasoned.
if
that
they
was
put-
mine too.
if
That
they
was
put those
exactly.
guys
It was
in-
one of them anyway.
If they put him in black armor, you would have believed it, right?
And when they took
What do you mean?
I don't know. They could have used the Death Troopers.
Yeah, well,
Oh, I don't know what they are.
so they're from Rogue One. They're more like they look like Special Forces stormtroopers.
See, I seen Rogue One, and I don't remember.
They're all
it at
black.
They're all black.
And
I
with
only
green
remember
eyes.
the Darth Vader scenes
And they
from Rogue One.
Oh, dude.
Okay, you need to
love
watch-
That. Yeah, that
yeah.
fucking shit is great.
And,
But anyway,
Andor is fantastic.
not yeah, it is.
Andor's good too?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
dude.
Oh,
It's good. It's really
listen,
good.
take Star Wars out, and it's
Still
like a
good.
fucking Tom Clancy novel.
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing,
fucking
like
great.
like Dark Knight. Like take Batman out,
Yeah,
still good.
it's
Take
like-
Star Wars out, Andor still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100% on that. Going back to that, that was like the beginning of the end. My great finest troops, but it was like you watching the Ewoks win, right? And you're like, what the fuck? And then you go back and watch again, and you hear Palpatine say, you're like, this, and
It all of a sudden it made you never saw the stormtroopers as being bad at their job until that movie. And then when you go back and you watch like the first Star Wars, now they seem bad at their job. Like when they can't hit Luke and Leia like swinging across, now you're like, oh, they all just suck.
Right.
You know, but you didn't think it until the bears beat them.
Yeah, the baby bears, not even big bears. Like,
There's actually
like baby bears with rocks.
That one where it swings around and like hits them in the face.
And they take out that weird walker thing with the it's like, dude, what the fuck, man? And it's just like anyone could be Han Solo. Like, I would have won this battle.
They actually gave an explanation on why the stormtroopers were so bad. Like, do any of you guys watch Star Wars Theory, that channel?
Yeah,
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. He makes a lot of goes into extreme detail and that stuff. But they explained the clone troopers were just Jango Fett, clones of Jango Fett, and they were highly trained. But the Emperor, he was like quantity over quality. So he
so they were like watered down.
Yeah.
Well, no, they conscripted humans to.
But that's
be
the other thing is they just opened up the books. It was like a hiring process.
And it's interesting in this Bad Batch series. The timeline is right after the fall of the Republic, and they're going through the process of getting rid of the clones and replacing them with conscripted humans. And it makes sense.
I wanted to get back to that.
But I will say, I watch a lot of YouTube Star Wars, and there's a whole lot of people out there
caping.
There are that try to make sense of the nonsense, like the science and stuff. Like Generation Tech, I watch him a lot.
Right,
he does a lot of that. Stuff.
This Bad Batch episode that I wanted to tell you about at the end. There's like a clone trooper. It's Cody. It's the one that was with Obi-Wan when 66 went out, and he is like they've been sent to this planet to claim it in the name of the Empire because it was like an independent planet. It wasn't part of the Republic. It wasn't part of the Empire.
Okay,
so they go out to
strategic spot.
Yeah. So I don't even know, but they go out to get it. Like, no, it's Empire now. We're not playing any games. And the leader of the planet has an Imperial officer like under captive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the guy who came to say, no, I'm in charge now. They're like, nope, you're not. You're going in the cage.
And
that's essentially what happened.
And they're basically like, look, this is a time. The Empire has done this for peace. And the woman, the leader of this planet, is like, I see now there is no peace. And then Cody lays his weapon down on the ground, and he's like, there can be. If you give up this, there can be peace.
Cody's one of the Bad Batchers.
No, he was a clone. He was a commander. He was a general.
Okay,
he was the one that when Obi-Wan was riding that fucking lizard thing, but when they were like execute Order 66, Cody just went to the other clones take him down,
right.
But he's like now he's talking and he's like look, I can put down this weapon. There can be peace if you go through with this. And she's like, okay, I'll trust you, and lets him go. And he's like, oh, thank you, killer. And he's like. And she's a killer, and then this other clone kills her. But it's just showing that some of the clones are starting
as advertised
are starting to question what they've done.
Yeah,
and the Empire is going to systematically get.
So
rid
the
of
other clones that were forced to kill her were like, what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just the idea that she just ordered this dude to kill him when he just talked to her and promised her basically peace.
So he was bad. He was a command. He was like an officer. Oh,
he had the dots in his shirt.
Oh, okay.
The squares.
I got you.
And so it was just and this other clone just took her out, followed orders.
That's kind of his whole. He was just
So Cody was.
Yeah, don't forget it. We'll move on. It's not worth it.
I don't know why I lost it.
All right, let me talk about. Do you have anything else on your nerve?
No, I believe that'll do it.
All right, let me do mine. So last week we were talking about the Stanford University list of words that they're getting rid of. So I was saying it. I was reading it here. And, they said that you have to get rid of hip hip hooray.
Oh, we didn't get that one, though.
No, we didn't cover it, but you had to get rid of hip hip hooray. But Selena overheard it, out of the sort of peripheral hearing, as it were, and stood and was like, we can't say hip hop. And I was like, no, you can. And she said, what about hip hop hooray? And I was like, that's still good. And she's like, phew, and just went back to her game that she was playing.
Oh, did she say that a lot?
No. It's just funny.
So next time I see Selena, I was like, hey, hip hop.
She probably won't even put it together. It was just a very random thing. My Instagram has been demonetized.
Oh, so you've lost your
ability to make money with Instagram.
Why is that?
So I posted a picture. My kids got LED strips for their room, like lights around their room.
Yeah,
it looks
Nikki's
fucking.
got those.
Yeah, it looks fucking bad.
I just got him around his bed too.
Yeah,
kinda
it's
cool.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we put some? I think it's cool. Laura's like, no. But like, anyway, they can change the colors on them. They can set it where it changes colors by itself.
Yeah.
It's all this shit. Well, in very typical Leia and Selena fashion, Leia puts hers on red and Selena puts hers on blue.
Oh.
And so I just took a picture of their two rooms with these two bright ass sets of beaming lights coming out, red and blue, and I was like, my kids are the Bloods and Crips.
Oh,
And they demonetized me for talking about organized violence.
forever or just?
I think forever.
Well,
I mean, which is fine. It's no big
That's-
deal. It's just like, God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I asked for a review. They reviewed it and said, yeah, no, it's still a violation.
Wow.
Instagram's insane.
Yeah.
With that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but that goes back to the whole, who's really the judge? Who really gets to say?
Well, but not only that, but it's like it's really harmless. It's my kids' rooms. They're both standing in the doorways. They're clearly like children, like smiling.
yeah.
And like
It's just you can't say certain words or you get flagged.
Can't say it.
Well, yeah. I mean, did you ever notice that our politicians are Bloods and Crips? I mean, with blue and red,
right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. No,
So here's another thing that's fun. I saw the Japanese anime X-Men 90s cartoon intro.
I've never didn't know that. Wait, so it's the 90s cartoon, but a Japanese cut of the.
Well, it was. I'm guessing it was the same cartoon. They had a dub, a Japanese dub, and then they had their own intro to it.
Okay.
And it's funny because I put it in my notes. Japanese dub anime 90s cartoon. Hey, you got a fucking silent on that thing over there? What are you doing?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, in my note, I said, in parentheses, you saved it. Because I must have I must have tied a feud on at the time.
That's fair.
So here we go.
Well, that's all new. Is that all new?
Yeah.
Am I wrong to like that?
No, not at all.
This show was awesome, though.
You like that?
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
I mean, that's the most anime entrance they could have made.
It looks great. Anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah.
But I only say it like I don't give a fuck about playing shit on here anymore because YouTube is also changing their rules again.
Oh, are they?
And dude, I'm so happy that I took one foot out of there. Like I see the direction it's going.
Yeah.
They're changing their rules again. Now if you curse too much,
Oh, it's
done.
ridiculous.
You're done or you're demonetized.
demonetized. So like Nerd Rage, there's
The
no
pennies, Bobby.
the
pennies.
exactly. But there's no. It's like I think Nerd Rage makes $10 a month. Like it's not worth even. It's not even worth me going into the app to put in the ads throughout the show for $10 a month. But let alone sacrifice the content by playing shit that could flag it for copyrights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So is this like a way for them to just take everything back and just get all the profits?
I think it is headed that way.
Put you in a corner and be
I
like,
think it is
okay,
headed that way.
we're tired of you making money. We just want your money. We're going to make these absurd rules
Well, and
that you can't
I think it's headed
avoid.
So, I mean, I watch obviously a ton of YouTube. Of all the streaming I have, I probably spend the most time on YouTube. That's why
Yeah.
Me too.
I spend that $9.99 a month, Bobby.
dude.
I got the big money. I don't watch. So anytime I'm watching, like my kids are like, hey, watch this YouTube video, and there's an ad, I just always go, ugh,
Yeah.
peasants, because I pay the $10 and I watch ads. But
Yeah.
there's and I watch all sorts of stuff, hobby stuff. I love watching like travel vlogs. Like there's this couple, I don't remember their name, but they've literally, I think they left their house in 2017 and have been traveling the world ever since.
Okay.
Like they went on some some luxury train in India recently. Like it's literally like a mansion but on wheels.
Yeah,
and it's like $20,000 a week or something. It's crazy. I think a lot of this shit they do is sponsored. They'll do these
Viking River Cruise. Or something.
Yeah, I mean it's higher than that. But they were saying that like the algorithm, they're going to have to start doing shorts. They have to keep up with the algorithm, which is basically their attempt to get the TikTok business.
So that's the other thing is now you can monetize your shorts starting February 1.
And I've seen, I mean, here's, do you guys know who Gary Vee is? You ever heard of Gary Vee? He's kind of a celebrity. He's also a lot of the time on the cutting edge, like the sports car craze. That's basically him started it. Like he's an investor. He invests in a lot of different things, but he's also just got a lot of sound advice. But he was saying, if you create content, record a podcast, use an AI to transcribe that podcast, post that on your blog as content, take your video that you filmed, chop that into however many 2-minute videos you can get in skinny form or whatever you call it with the phone upright, and then post that 3 times a day on your, I mean, you basically have, it's a full-time job to be successful with marketing and social media towards your business. Yeah. And I've gotten to the point now, like, I dread having to post anything about my business.
I hate it.
Because that's the main reason I use social media is to try to sell shit.
I hate it.
With my side hustles. And, I hate it.
On Facebook, often I'll put up the pictures like coming tomorrow. And but sometimes I don't, and I'll be as surprised instead of as promised. Half the time I do it is because I don't want to deal with the bullshit from the initial post. Like if I put up a Takara, like that Trailbreaker that I just looked at, it's going to be all sorts of fucking people talking shit in the comments, and like I just don't want to deal with it. So I'd rather just post it about it once. Like it's
even like when you post our top 5s or whatever, people start listing their shit in the comments of it coming soon. I'm like, what?
I got to post that today, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah.
So 2 other things I want to talk about that were toy related, and then one other story. I got these turtles, the 6-inch ones.
I see them up there.
They're from Secret.
Those are awesome.
They're from Secret of the Ooze.
Okay.
So they're like slightly different than the original set of turtles, like their facial expressions and stuff, like because they looked different in the second one. And funny thing about those, the only reason why I bring them up, just business wise, it was interesting. They're Walmart exclusives.
They are? As of when?
I believe those 2 sets.
Oh, that's 2. I thought it was a box. I'm sorry. Yes. So the live action NECA is Walmart. Anything else is Target.
Okay.
That's the steady fast rule for it.
So I bought them off of Walmart's site, but they were shipped to me direct from NECA.
I have that happen oftentimes. Kelly bought some.
How about them apples?
Well, Kelly bought some clothes off Macy's.com. Bought for Charlie likes some Adidas track pants, and they came from Adidas.
Like, it's just funny, man. The smoke and mirrors of that shit. Like, Walmart's not stocking that shit. I mean, they'll put them in stores or whatever, but they're not gonna from Walmart. Walmart's not getting involved. Basically, they're just allowing them to be in their store and whatever. But like when you buy from their site, they're not dealing with that. You fucking deal with it. So like, I'm buying it from Walmart. The money's going to them, but NECA's shipping it to me.
It's drop ship 101. That's all it is.
It's crazy.
Hey, Bobby, have you been sleeping well lately?
No, never.
Okay. Well, I did want to show you the modern, like, you all know that those were men in suits, right?
Yeah.
And those suits still exist today.
Oh my God.
But they're horrifying. They're dry rotted.
They look like zombie turtles.
Yeah.
They look from The Last of Us.
Oh my God.
And I think these go for auction every once in a while, these original suits.
So they couldn't store them in a place that was...
nobody knew to care.
Yeah.
That's what happened to so much stuff. And I don't know that all of them still exist. I know, like, I think I just showed Giraffe, and there's probably might be 20 of these suits out there. Who knows? Because they did this shit. They did 3 movies. They did a fucking concert tour.
Yeah.
And then there was a TV show that used some version of the suits because there was a Venus de Milo.
It had a female in it.
Yeah.
The video game for the original Nintendo was amazing.
Hard as fuck.
It was hard. I never beat Shredder at the end.
I couldn't even get to Shredder.
I got to him, and every day I would come home and play, and you get the code to just play Shredder, and I would play for hours. And the only good thing is you were able to switch each turtle when they died to go to the next one. Never did it.
After school, the end of 8th grade, me and 4 friends all went to the arcade with 2 rolls of quarters each and beat that fucking Turtles game.
Did you beat Shredder? What happens when you beat him?
Dude, it was 150
I'd still bothers
probably
me.
nothing as exciting as you want it to be. I'm sure it's on YouTube if you
You remember that animated movie you took me to see in the theater? I think it was like 2007.
Yeah, I like that.
That was
a good
great.
movie.
I took my kid to see that too. I remember.
Yeah,
that was
actually.
And I was actually in the film industry at the time, and I remember it was a big hit on video as well.
What did you do in the film industry?
I delivered the product to the end users and managed their experience by selling them. I managed video stores.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right.
I managed the end user experience.
I love it.
So one other thing, third party related, it is where Make Toys all of a sudden put up 3
I saw
3
that.
pre-orders yesterday.
Out of
the blue.
This is where I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's just, like I have to mention it because it's
No, I get it. I'm
but it's
interested.
like this company that's like a third party.
Everybody
company.
thought they were just.
Everybody thought they'd gone away. It's been years since.
When's the last time they had something out?
It was their Dirge.
Was that the last one?
Yeah,
and this is just a repaint of that, basically.
Basically,
Yeah,
of 2, and then the
wings
one
are
headmaster.
Yeah,
They put up one headmaster, so it's like they put up 3 pre-orders yesterday, like out of the blue, which is exciting. Now, I did have an inkling that it was happening because I interviewed that artist last year, and he said that he was doing box art for them.
Did you say I've done some box art myself?
I did not. But you know what? Fuck it. And then one last story. So I had a brunch on Sunday. Yeah, dude.
Oh, okay. That way you went to. Hang on. Let's clarify.
Yeah.
You went to a brunch, or you
Hosted
brunch.
Hosted brunch.
Okay.
For the shift of which I work. It was an attempt to get like the shift, not just my particular mopping, like not just where I mop, but the whole shift, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to like bring people together, fucking meet kids, like just have an opportunity. So
meet wives.
Anyway, nobody. Yeah, meet wives. Yeah. Nobody fucking came that wasn't associated with particularly where I mop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably change that in the future to just make it about where I mop. But it was still like a good turnout, good time. People were like good laughs, good food, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it was good.
I thought you were leaning into nobody showed up. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
How many mornings are we gonna have eggs Benedict?
Oh my god! You can find an old School of Rock. Oh my god! I just stayed judge and nobody called me.
Yeah, dude, I had a party one time, like when I was in middle school, and 2 people showed up, and it wasn't even like a good 2, and those 2 didn't even know each other. So it was the worst. I think it scarred me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think it scarred me. But anyway,
Animal House, like Jug Dish, and that's another story. You ever see Animal House?
When I was a kid,
Amazing.
I know.
John Belushi.
Yeah. So anyway, I say all that to say this. They were talking. They got to a point where everybody was making fun of me in the room. You would have loved it, Chris. And and at one point, Jaina said, "Yeah, sometimes we call him Safety Steve because he's always wanting to like make sure that this surge protector is good to go, or make sure there's not too much stuff stacked up over here or too stuff. So we call him Safety Steve. Like he said I can't even get into a car with one of my friends until I'm like 18, and everybody in the room was like, yeah, no, he's right on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just totally fucking backfired. Like you could just see her face crumble. Like, fuck!
I had the room and I lost it.
Yeah.
Is she right?
Hey, but before you get into the notes, I wanted to bounce back to something last week and off week. So we had a couple weeks in a row, and we may have questions today about this, about friendship, and mostly male friendship, and Jack, I think you're my best friend, but you think I'm just some dude you go to school with, right? So my little guy is 9, and he's super tenderhearted, and he always talks about this other kid is his best friend. I'm like, I hope this kid thinks the same, and it's not like
one-way street.
Of course. So this kid has a birthday party, and Kelly drops him off, goes in and does the what'd she say? She's like, are all moms just fake as fuck?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, they're listen,
so many.
they're all wearing fucking pajama pants as soon as they get home too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Luckily, the kid walks in, and Kelly, and squares up with the parent, like, hey, you CJ's kid thing. I was trying not to dox him, but CJ's dad is like, oh, is this Charlie? We hear about Charlie all the time, every night.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God that he has it's not just some, he's the kid at the birthday, but like they hung out the whole time.
Nice.
They did like a Nerf battle. So I was like, it warmed my heart a little bit.
They don't understand the shit that we worry about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they don't.
And they don't. They have no idea the stuff we go home think. And I would imagine it never ends. You know what I mean? No matter what.
I think it's just what you worry about changes.
I mean,
exactly.
I worry about that time I farted in 3rd grade and somebody heard it. I mean, I worry about that all the time.
Yeah.
And we all like probably are haunted by it.
Dude,
I thought about something the other day. I'm like, I can't believe I said that. And this is something recent. I'm like, I hope that person doesn't think ill of me because I said I said it. It was actually something I thought I might have said to your wife.
Oh, really?
About a dish she had made, and I'm like, I don't even know why it came to mind. Oh my God! Why did I say?
I stew over things that I say.
Oh, it's
like,
so
I'm
rotten.
I'm like, oh God.
Yeah,
so rotten.
I'll use Lisa as a sounding board too. I'm like, hey, remember when? She's like, can you shut the fuck up already about that? You know what I mean? And even like with. Going back and things, like I said, like, certain parenting techniques. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get them all right.
Yeah, like Bill Burr says, like, you're at a red light, and you just like, what the fuck was I thinking? You just start thinking of something you did in your past. Like, oh my God.
So let's move on to some notes. We got to see the full look of Adam Warlock from the MCU.
Okay.
Hey, can I say something?
I know him.
Remember that time that Dave Chappelle dressed up like a white dude to do the news? Look at this guy, Bobby. Tell me, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I just placed that in my. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. I don't know
remember
why.
that, man. I was that the Chappelle show?
Yes.
Oh, I probably know it if I see it.
It does.
It does.
But you know this kid, right? You've seen him a million. Like I've seen him a million times.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
That's definitely a risk.
You see the resemblance?
And I don't remember what.
Look, and this guy might be great, and he might be. I don't like the look. I don't like the look.
It kind of looks like a Superman outfit.
Yeah. But he's it's Space Jesus, and he's supposed to have like that's what he is, and he's supposed to have like the full hair. He's supposed to look like Space Jesus without the beard. So
that's Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
I'm guessing.
Oh, and his name was Chuck Taylor, just to be the whitest.
I feel like Marvel's just really like just kind of just half-assing their projects at this point.
I do too.
I think they're
with the exception of Wakanda Forever, which I did enjoy, but everything else I agree with you.
I didn't see that one.
It's good.
Oh, okay.
But the rest of them, I 100% agree.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah. Like No Way Home, was a great nostalgia. I love seeing all the Spider-Mans together, but the CGI was so like just mediocre.
I mean, they were working on it till the day they turned it in. There's no doubt.
Yeah, it was so like just some shots, especially there was one shot with Willem Dafoe when he's unmasked. It's just a weird neckline, just CGI nightmare.
Well, it's the same thing with She-Hulk. Like she looks like fucking Shrek.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
It's awful.
Yeah,
I'll take. I saw the title. I'm like, nope, not interested. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
So I was
I don't be doing I'm not that vested, but I'm like, all right.
I did know something interesting on Disney. I was perusing for something to watch, and Disney Plus, the way I set up for me at least, you've got the Disney, and then they got like a Marvel tab.
Yeah,
and I'm watching it like through my Roku or on the TV or whatever. So I get to the Marvel, and the splash page is all it was like Falcon is in the middle in his Captain America suits, and it's all the characters from like I guess the modern movies. So it's not like Steve Rogers and Iron Man. None of that's there. I just thought that was interesting.
I guess they're moving forward.
They're going that direction.
They have to.
Yeah.
Is that what the comics did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of them. I mean, Falcon did take up the mantle for a while. Winter Soldier took up the mantle for a while. It's changed hands.
Lots of people have written.
And I mean, they can't have. They can't have these people play these roles forever. They age out.
Yeah,
you got to keep passing the torch. But like, my concern, I think, is just that it continues to be like the next Iron Man, the next Hawkeye, the next instead of like.
Oh, for sure.
Instead of like more like. Give me more Daredevil, give me more Fantastic Four, give me more shit that I'm not seeing normally.
Yeah.
Don't just give me the Generation 2 of all these characters.
Oh yeah, the way they put Daredevil and She-Hulk was ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
It was horrendous.
Why? What'd they do?
They made it a freaking joke.
Was it the guy from the original the series on
Netflix?
And it's the same character, same universe. Okay.
Yeah.
They literally
He was good.
Like they made it a joke. They made it all like weird sexual jokes, and it was bad.
It was,
dude. It's really, that show's a rough watch. Dude.
Yeah. Weird like China, like
just like we like
no, like I mean, he ends up sleeping with She-Hulk or the girl Jennifer, and like he does this walk of shame in his costume at the end.
Yeah, like walking through the neighborhood.
Yeah, with his
like
costume
beaten up
on
and he
no
couldn't-
shoes.
he was limping?
No,
you
it's-
can't.
very
The
strange.
problem is like with this shit, you can never show the real world shit. It doesn't work.
No.
Like the Joker in Dark Knight is fucking awesome. Like an amazing portrayal of the Joker, reimagined, but amazing portrayal, right? It works. But he's a human. He needs to eat. What doesn't work is him going to order a Whopper at Burger King.
Right.
You can't show that.
Right. No.
You can't. It has to happen if you imagine that world
Can
to
you
be
see
real.
someone drop it off like he's sitting at a table?
Like don't get lost in the minutia. Like it's the same thing. Like Daredevil can fuck She-Hulk, but you can't show him just leaving.
Right.
You just cut that
You
out.
can just talk about it and maybe bring it up so you know.
Just move on.
Right.
Just move on. Like he got up and left.
Listen,
like or whatever. Like
listen. This horse is in pieces from being beaten. But I will say that, and I've never read a She-Hulk comic, but the people who like this show say this is exactly how the comic is.
Oh yeah.
But the problem is that like
It doesn't fit with the MCU.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
it ruins it.
like guess what? None of this shit is exactly like the comic.
No, none of it.
And because it doesn't work,
Right.
You have to change it a bit to make it believable. Fucking when Batman came out in '89 in the all black suit, it's because the gray and blue suit would have looked weird.
Yeah. Well, going back to what you said, I mean, look at how, to me, like I see the name She-Hulk, I'm not interested. And when I was a kid, I would have saw the name She-Hulk, and even if I was reading comics, not interested. Why did they? Like She-Hulk, it just doesn't make sense. Hulk is Hulk. There's a Hulk. That's who it is. Yeah. We don't need a She-Hulk. You know what I mean? But they did.
Unfortunately, I'll have Gary's Twitter handle in the notes.
Yeah, we're long past that, unfortunately.
I mean, it's like, oh well, we went to that friggin' well long enough. Let's see if we can add some more.
So I'm gonna move on, but yeah, I'm not like I'm in for Guardians 3. I'm excited and all that stuff, but I may love this character. I just don't like the way it looks.
Yeah.
The next one, cutting ties with. Actually, let's transition to the money talk because you were talking about the CGI. So, Screen Rant, which is a fucking...
I'm glad you had. I almost just brought this up.
It's a fucking awful website, but and full of clickbait.
They have
shit.
a couple ads,
but they say that Marvel Studios reportedly pays visual effects artists 20% less than other studios.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched a little short documentary. It might have been on Netflix. It was last year or something. I talked about it on here.
Yeah.
About how that industry and how some there's the expectations are just so unrealistic from the studio, and like the people making the movies don't understand that you want to completely change this character. Well, that means we need 6 months to remake this entire character. We can't just press a button and change that character.
But the thing is that like I think that this is just a guess, right? But I think that probably it's because it's meant to be a resume builder. You go to Marvel, you get paid 20% less, but
And
your
you can
name's
put Marvel.
But
I
your
mean-
name's on a fucking Marvel movie now. And when you go to get your next job, you can be like, yeah, you ever seen the Avengers?
You're working
I
for
worked
the
on that.
exposure,
Right.
It's like being an intern almost, but you get a little bit more.
It's clout, right? It's like my wife's a physical therapist, so like I hear a little bit about the medical industry from time to time, and like Hopkins notoriously pays their staff like shit. So that when you go work at another hospital, you have it on your resume. I work for fucking Hopkins.
Give and take.
It's funny that I didn't know that, but I will say, like, some of the medical issues that my family's dealt with over the past several years, that is the nicest staff I've ever dealt with. The pediatrics, at least.
Yeah, they're
Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, they're
but
great.
just to hear that is like, it makes sense, but it kind of is a bummer.
To say I did 1 year at Hopkins means far more than saying I did 5 years at X.
Carroll County Community
Hospital.
High School.
And so a lot of people take it as a stepping stone. They get there young. They they don't have a
Tractor
family.
repair and
Outreach.
lobotomy. But I mean, here you get paid what you get. Like, look, maybe you bid the job out. Like, we're whoever's the cheapest is going to get it. I don't know how that world works.
But they contract a lot of these companies, right? Like I just noticed recently that like, and that's why, because it came from Screen Rant, I'm kind of like, I might need to look into this.
Now, this
more.
is out in the Viscera. This isn't some bullshit of theirs.
Because like they use Weta.
They use Weta Workshop.
So Weta did like the Lord of the Rings movies and shit. Like,
But they do. Weta does. Weta,
I know.
Weta does more practical stuff. They do more practical effects than digital effects.
Well, they did all the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah. So both of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like,
I know they did the practical stuff. So I watched some of their videos.
So like the thing is like Weta took the contract.
Right.
You know, and I wonder because they just switched from ILM. And Industrial Light Magic is George Lucas's shit, but that's owned by Disney now too. So it's like I've always been curious why recently, like within the last year, Marvel Studios has switched from ILM, which was technically an in-house studio, to now outside of ILM. And I'm guessing that's where price cuts came.
So it's price cuts, and a lot of the time, I mean, yeah, you bid this job, it's like, all right, this is a 4,000 hour job, and we're going to bid X an hour to get it. Well, it ends up being, I mean, it's the same as like if I was going to build you a deck, and I was like, it's going to take 45 hours, and for some reason it takes me 90. I'm committed to what you pay me for 45.
Right.
And I think, but the thing is,
that's a good point.
But if you come to me, it's like, now that you're halfway done building this deck, I've actually decided I want it out of red cedar, and I want it to be 2 stories.
Now we need to renegotiate.
And I don't know if
they
they allow that in the contract, or if you're just set in.
Right.
You know, they can bid it based on that, but the reality is you're getting paid X amount flat to do this work.
Right.
And then I think a lot of the time what happens is, let's say ILM is doing it. They're like, Disney wants to change these 4 things. Fuck, we don't have the time or staff. Hey, Weta Workshop, what's up, guys?
Right.
I've got these 4 things I need you to do, and then I'm taking that out of my budget. I mean, I remember the story I watched. The little documentary was, I don't remember the name of the company. They won an Academy Award for their work, and also announced that they had filed bankruptcy at the same time. Because they were doing incredible work, but they couldn't pay people to do it because there wasn't any money at the end of it.
And there's not, Hollywood budget is sinking and sinking and sinking because of streaming.
And if you think about a visual effect, you don't think about the fact that costs anything to make, right? It's like, it's just there, right? No, I mean, you got to think about, not to mention the 4 years of school or whatever somebody, or the experience,
film, the actual production of it, and then all of that man hours of editing, of post-production, of actual rendering the thing,
Yep.
So yeah, I had something in here for you, Christopher. Cutting ties.
No.
Stop. With Chainsaw Man.
Okay.
So have you heard anything about this?
Can't say that I know exactly what this is.
Are you watching the dub or the sub?
Oh, I did hear about this. So I watched the sub because the dub hadn't been released yet.
So apparently this Brazilian guy who's doing one of the voices of the characters they're upset with some controversial clip. Let me just read this. The ordeal came to light on, you'll never believe where.
Twitter. Twitter, okay.
After Chainsaw Man fans learned one of its own was being attacked. Mr. Briggs, one of Brazil's most prolific voice actors, found himself inundated with online harassment this past week of the anime. The coordinated attack was made as a group of Brazilian fans wanted to make it clear they disapproved of a specific Chainsaw Man scene. The controversial clip stars the future devil, which Briggs plays, and after fielding bullying on social media, the actor said they plan to leave the anime entirely before locking their Twitter profile. Briggs wrote, "I'm going to leave the dub of this anime. I don't want to be in it anymore." And left. I don't know who the future devil is, but
I don't know I don't remember specifically the future because there's so many. The devils are the bad guys in this show.
So for those
I don't remember that specifically.
For those who haven't caught on to the drama, here's an explainer. The whole thing got started this week when the future devil made their debut, and they told our heroes the future is the best, more or less. The line is straightforward, but it has a lot of weight to in Brazil of all places. After all, Chainsaw Man is huge in South America, blah, blah, blah. Back in the day, official translations were in. The popular fan translation tackled the manga's take on this devil. The fan translation reached this chapter. It turned the future devil's line into future Pika, as it loosely translates to the future is awesome. The slang terminology by itself was fine by fans, even if its tone did not match Fujimoto's original text, but later on the line became controversial as the fan translation of Chainsaw Man began using derogatory jokes. A slew of homophobic and transphobic lines was added to the manga, and it gave the whole translation a bad name aside from being unofficial.
Okay, so it sounds like there's either a fan translate, and look, forgive me for not knowing. When they publish these books in Japan, they're in Japanese. They get here to the United States, they're in English.
Right.
I'm assuming they're in Spanish or in Portuguese in Brazil, right? And in each one of those situations, whoever's writing that has to, or translating it, it doesn't make sense half the time. I mean, if you ever use a translator app, translate something in Japanese.
It's not 100% at all.
Yes. Broken Promises Shiny River, and that's describing the statue behind.
Right.
Or whatever. That's just so, that's in the weeds, man.
Yeah.
Big time. But drama's drama.
Drama's drama. Quickly, coppin' pleas. So the Flash star Ezra Miller avoids jail for a trespassing plea deal.
Wow.
What exactly did he do?
So here's the thing. The reports have been so wide and dramatic. Everything from kidnapping to letting children handle like machine guns and shit. Like they've been, but like there's a Twitter page that flags us from time to time whenever we cover the Flash and like we tweet about it.
Ooh, hi.
And they claim that the media of this shit is far out of control on it. Like the actual stories of what has happened are actually fairly reasonable and not a whole lot of legal infractions.
So Gary, here's in a nutshell. They, we're identifying as they now. This human is, and they apparently there was a young lady from Hawaii that
like the whole room like
traveled with him, I guess, to the state. They were somewhere in New England in a cabin, Vermont that wasn't theirs, and there was a bunch of guns there. And then there was this second incident where there was some woman who was getting away from an abusive relationship and ended up there with him, and she had children, and apparently there were a bunch of guns there, and like. The way it read was when I guess the cops came to say, hey, why are you here? This isn't your place. They're like the children were playing with the guns. I'm sure. I don't doubt that there's some sauce on it.
Yeah. So it's
to say
like,
the least.
Even this article, this from CNBC.
There should be a police report you can read.
Yeah. It's, the first incident was in 2020 after a video surfaced showing them appearing to violently choke a fan.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Incidents of impropriety escalated in 2022 when they were arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and harassment at a karaoke bar in Hawaii. Soon after, Miller was arrested again after an altercation in which they were accused of throwing a chair and injuring a woman. Additionally, there were accusations of grooming against Miller, which that's the guns.
I thought that was the grooming would be taking young people
laying the groundwork for future
abuse, sexual abuse. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But does it have to be sexual?
It could be anything.
That's the way the word.
I think it has to do with the guns. Because he had all these children using guns.
You could be grooming someone to be a racist or grooming someone to be. Usually it is sexual. I
think recently because of that Disney shit, the groomers and all that whole weird shit that happened in Florida. But I don't know.
What was that?
The dog groomer thing?
No, they were like accusing Disney of being groomers, like a particular sect of political
for all the young stars and stuff like that and everything,
for having homosexual or transsexual material.
Who knows?
Miller has been associated with the DCEU, blah blah blah, etc. So I don't know, but apparently he took a plea. Speaking of pleas, and I know no one at this table is going to be interested, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Are you following this Young Thug shit at all?
No, I'm not. I know who he is, and I know there's some drama with a gun.
Do you know who he is as a young person?
Who
No.
Young Thug or Gunna?
No, I mean,
So I'm not a fan of either of these gentlemen's music.
They're rappers.
It's not for me.
Oh, okay.
But they are,
and that's fine.
They are extraordinarily popular, right?
I bet they get on the radio.
So I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know because 92Q doesn't like it. Like, who gives a fuck about it?
What's
like,
92Q?
That's like the urban station in the area.
Did they play current rap?
92.3. Who knows?
Right. I'm just curious.
48-year-olds that sit in a fucking line at a fucking McDonald's for lunch, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody listens to that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know what they play. They're
Probably a good station.
Probably Bobby Brown. Fuck,
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but that's my point. They're playing to their demographic. You just proved
walked
it.
into that one,
Every
didn't I?
time you open your mouth.
I did it on purpose.
Anyway. So like, they all got taken down on a state RICO case. Which I found interesting because I've never heard of a state RICO case.
Are they gangsters? Are they racketeers?
Yes.
Okay.
Seems that way.
Well, if it's RICO, they must be.
Allegedly.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's what I'm just saying. How they fall into that.
But I'm just surprised it's not a federal RICO charge, which is the only one I've been really.
I thought that's all you could get.
Me too.
With a federal
but
RICO.
This is a state RICO charge.
And what state is this?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Georgia.
Well, you know what they say.
I'm not sure, but I can guess. But anyway,
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and ride on them things like every day. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I'd say they took the whole fucking crew down, right? Arrested them all, and the two big stars, musician wise, are Young Thug and Gunna, and they claim that YSL, which is the name of their label, is just a label, or at least they did prior to this RICO. So within a week, this guy Gunna takes to cut some kind of deal, and he's out on the street. And then before you know it, like almost all these guys are out on the street again, except for Young Thug. And my guess is they've all flipped, and they're gonna fucking crucify this guy. Is my guess, is that the state wants him, and they've got everybody else to deal, and they're gonna.
So they're all out except him. Mm-hmm. But don't they know the optics of that?
And it's causing problems. Like it's causing like people are like, "What's up with this dude?" So the dude Gunner put up this thing on his Instagram that was like, "I'm back, YSL forever" or something. And as soon as he posted that, like these few guys that are still left out that are like on the in the president of the label and whatever all unfollowed him. So like it's just interesting to watch how this all shakes out. But I don't think it's going to be favorable.
Yeah, so Georgia has a RICO Act, like a state RICO Act. I didn't realize that. It's strange that...
It's crazy.
Well, I wonder how long that's been in effect, because...
I know.
Well, RICO started with Giuliani, right?
As far as I know.
But was that when he was Attorney General, or was that when he was Mayor of New York? So it might be state in New York as well.
It started out with... I think it started out federal, because the first one they took, they all these gangsters had a meeting out like in the Midwest or some shit or something. You know the one I'm talking about? And it got raided. That was like the first big RICO, involvement, and that had to be federal.
True. Yeah, and I don't remember what his in order of his career, what he had, what title he held first or whatever. But,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, it would make sense to start in New York.
I'm gonna watch and see.
So I just looked it up. 2020 Georgia Code Title whatever RICO. Prohibited activities, and then it lists it. So this is new. I mean, it's 2020 is when this was enacted. Huh. It shall be unlawful for any person to conspire or endeavor to violate any of the provisions of this code.
Yeah, that lady, that state's attorney, whoever she is,
yeah,
she's got a hard on for this shit.
She's
like if you're in Atlanta and you are rapping and you're listening to this podcast, for one, I find that interesting. For two, be very careful about what you say.
Hey, listen. I know the vibes.
Yeah,
I've been there. But I will say she has gained a little bit of fame because she was the one that investigated the voter fraud, supposed voter fraud in it. Yeah. So she may be riding on a high horse.
Right.
There was a quote that says, "Don't come to Fulton County doing this. We're going to get you." Basically.
Yeah. And then Mandalorian season 3 trailer. Yep. Did you watch it?
I did.
Did
you guys watch the trailer for Mandalorian season 3?
I saw a TV spot, but I didn't watch the full trailer.
Lightsabers.
It looks like a flashback. It looks like we're getting it from the eyes of Grogu.
Nikki's a big fan, right, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been I never loved it personally. Like I saw season 1, I was like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just have to rewatch it. It was just a little slow for my liking.
I never saw 2. I saw 1, but I never saw 2.
Well, the confusing thing for a lot of people is season 1, season 2, and then I'd say the second half of Book of Boba Fett is important to the story.
Yeah.
That's fucking awful.
Is it?
It's not great.
Boba Fett's awful.
It's not
awful.
That's a shame because I love Boba Fett.
So you guys didn't like the Obi-Wan series, right?
I liked
he did.
it.
You didn't like the Obi-Wan series?
I did not.
I rewatched it during the holiday break, like at once. And Obi-Wan's my guy. Like that's my Star Wars character of everybody out there.
Well, looking back, I mean, he's the sickest one. I mean, he's got the most important kills. Of everyone. He's
the most tragic.
Yeah, but he's killed the most. He's killed all the fucking.
And he was laying pipe on Mandalore. I mean, you can't knock off. I watched it again, and I'll be honest, the dynamic that I might have a different point of view, but like I didn't care for the young lady that played Leia in that whole story.
Oh, I thought she was great.
I actually didn't mind her either.
After the second watching, I mean, we've all met children that age or have children that age, and she's just so aggressive and abrasive, and children aren't like that. And
she's a Jedi.
Oh,
I mean,
Tis the Force.
Yeah, exactly. So she's different.
She can fly. She can fly in space.
The thing that grinded my gears the most about it was
here it is. You know what grinds my gears
was the scene in the last episode where Vader and Obi-Wan were fighting, which was I love that scene.
Hate it, but continue.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Hate it. I hate it.
Hey, listen.
I hate it.
Things are weird here. Just like what you like.
Okay.
That's all
You liked it, right?
I loved it.
Yeah, but it kept going back to the Luke and Leia as a kid, like when they're hiding from the what's it called?
The Empire.
Yeah, or what's her name? I don't.
Oh, the one who the
Inquisitor.
The Inquisitor.
That's the word. But it was so pointless. Like you knew they were going to be okay. So, but you're trying. I was just.
Oh, they were kind of trying to create drama, like, oh, no, what's going to happen? And,
it's Luke and Leia, but you're trying to enjoy a fight scene.
I hated that fucking fight scene. I fucking hate it.
Really?
Why do you hate that?
I
only seen it once, so I don't remember.
It just seemed like if those two characters faced off and had that moment, that's not what they would say to each other.
Okay.
I could see it.
And like that's what it seemed like. It was written by somebody who just watched episode 4 and episode 3 and was like, yeah, I got this. Like just didn't take all of the kind of weight and gravity that should have been in that fight, that should have been between those two characters after all that time and all that history and all that hate and betrayal. And like that should have been the shit that we quoted for fucking decades.
Yeah.
Like Chewbacca's response to Han dying.
Oh, that was
just thought of myself. That's it.
Oh, that was awful. Like it was not nearly as dramatic.
Oh,
enough.
I wanted to see arms pulled off and people being beaten to death with their own arms.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I wanted Chewbacca's
to go nuts.
I wanted to see what everybody.
That would have been great.
And it should have been, like, because they always talk about it. Like everyone who sees Chewbacca's like, fuck, that's Chewbacca.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If he would have just gone like fucking like Planet of the Apes.
Yes, like just punch a hole through someone, see his furry hand on the other side of the guy, and
but Disney ruined it.
Disney ruins everything.
But he shouldn't have fucked with. But I also wouldn't have wanted him to hurt Kylo.
No, he should have shook him really hard and like yelled in his face, like, I want to bite your head off, and then just made him pass out from fear.
The same way I held Jaina.
Yes, it just the fangs and
the Simpson strangle.
Exactly.
Don't.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. So I guess that makes sense with that. When you see Darth Vader and he's kind of young and he's
when his voice goes in and out, man, it just was rough.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
like that got me, is what I'm saying.
I love when his piece comes off and you can still see or when he was training in that, when he was in that bath or whatever,
man. Tank.
Oh my god! When you first see that, I mean,
it just seems
I'm gonna go get in the bath for a little while.
But when they took off his mask in Return of the Jedi, it was horrible.
Humpty Dumpty.
I'm glad you brought that up, because when Bobby brought up some of the lines, that was when I was like, and I think a lot of people are like,
it looks like a potato.
But I think that like
Uncle Fester.
I think
it was horrifying.
There's
in not a good way.
There's good service. There's good fan service, and there's bad fan service, like cheap fan service. And that fight for me felt cheap fan servicey to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let's move on to questions, or we're gonna be here all fucking day.
Okay.
That's fair.
Let's see here, because it looks like we have a fair amount. No, maybe not. Okay, so this is from Zeph. Zeph Fully Clean. He says, hey there, guys. First time messaging in, and sorry about the joke, then fuck shit. First time messaging in and have been listening for about a year now, and it's been great. Oh, well, dude, shout out to you, man. Bobby, I've been watching your YouTube videos since I was in middle school. God bless. I'm 22, turning 23 on the 19th.
Ow.
Starting with that Hasbro Generation Skids. That was my first one. And want to thank you for all the content over the years. Throughout moving states, houses, and problems with my family, I've always got to see your videos, which help me get through the tough days. Sorry for being so long. Just wanted to express my gratitude. Well, I appreciate it, man. Sorry for question 1. Has Joe tried to get you into Gundam? The answer is yes. He's not the only one either, but he got me to watch War in Pocket.
Hang on, is he talking about the shows or putting together kits? Because it's 2 different types of Gundams.
So I can cover it all.
There you go.
So he tried to get me to watch. Well, we sat through a Gundam series called War in Pocket or War of something like that.
Yeah.
And I watched it. Didn't care for it.
Okay.
Robert D got me to watch Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Yeah.
I watched 3 episodes. Not for me.
I'll be honest. I watched Gundam. It was a Gundam Wing that came out on Toonami probably in the late 90s, early 2000s. I watched that. And I started building kits and stuff back then. But, I haven't. Mason put together has half a dozen or so that he's got built and probably that many sitting on.
Yeah.
Did you ever put together any kits?
So I was going to get to there. So James G bought me, Adam, and Joe a Gundam and had them sent here. And we put them together. I think it's on Patreon. We put them together and then had a talk about them and stuff. And I still have mine. I had it over here for the longest time. And when I did my Galvatron display in my masterpiece shelf, I glued him in place and spray painted him gold as one of the Decepticon statues, so that he's always part of my collection, but now in a more meaningful way.
I think that would be fun to do again.
But
I haven't done a gun. I put together some Star Wars models, but
yeah, I think my biggest problem with anime is I just very rarely ever connect to a character. So then the next one, what's your favorite old Planet of the Apes film? I'm a massive fan of that franchise. Not sure why, but the concept fascinates me. Got to pick up some of those NECA apes when I get a chance. My favorite is Escape from the Planet of the Apes, or as I like to call it, Apes Take LA. I live in California and plan on dragging my girlfriend with me to get a piece of Ape City. I can't remember the names of them. I think I like the third one.
I don't know that I've ever really. I know I've seen the original.
I like them all.
I don't know that I've ever seen any of the other old ones.
So the first one is like the classic one, Charlton Heston, and in like the fucking the Statue of Liberty at the end. The second one,
you've done it. You've done it.
The second one is Beneath the Planet of the Apes. That's the one that's like there's this whole cult underneath the planet. They had to go under because of radioactive
it's
stuff.
like a Star Trek episode. They have all these weird cages, but it's like modernized almost, right?
And then there is Escape from Planet of the Apes, and then there's Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and then Battle for the Planet of the Apes. And I want to say that my favorite is Conquest, because that's the one where they're the humans have kind of taken back over, and the apes are locked up, and this guy who's who kind of reminds you of Caesar now watching it. Have you seen the new ones? Caesar from he kind of reminds you of that. I mean, he's a dude in an ape suit, but it's the character archetype kind of reminds you of Caesar, and he frees all these ape prisoners, and they take over this prison, and then they get out. I think if that's the one I'm talking about, that's my favorite one. But yeah, I can say.
Go ahead.
I love every Apes movie ever made.
So you're going with the Wahlberg ones too, and
it's only one, and I love.
Oh, there was only one.
Yeah,
okay,
they rebooted it.
There was one with James Franco, right?
So
that was the new. Those were amazing.
So that is the first one of that trilogy, I guess. The best way to put it.
One of my favorite trilogies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
and Matt Reeves, is that?
Matt Reeves did the second and third one, or just the third one the other. I can't remember.
And Andy Serkis was
Caesar.
Caesar, yeah.
Oh my God, he's incredible.
He's the most underrated.
He's like a Gary Oldman. He shows up and you're like, "Who? That's him."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's generational
he's been
talent,
CGI.
man.
I know. But still,
But he lost a lot of weight at Smeagol.
He's in Andor.
That dude's method.
He's in Andor, and the role he plays,
machinist,
is
Then he was
so good.
And he was Alfred. Yeah,
he was Alfred too.
Yep.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying he plays a character in Andor Oh, fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And heartbreaking.
Yeah. Okay.
And barefoot.
Yeah.
So where does Andor? Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Andor takes place 5 years before Rogue One. Yeah. Okay. So 5 years before Episode 4, basically.
Okay.
It's great. It's
fantastic.
Do yourself a favor. I hate fucking Obi-Wan. I hate a lot of this recent Star Wars shit.
I think hate's a strong word, is it, Bobby? I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right. I dislike Kenobi. I hate Bad Batch the first season. I hate Book of Boba Fett. I hate Mandalorian season 2. I think Mandalorian season 1 is okay.
Yeah.
You know, so what's your, he said, I recently, around the time you stopped posting Star Wars Six figures on YouTube, quit collecting Black Series and went all in on 3 3/4. Have you noticed more collectors going to 3 3/4? So I can't say that I have, but it has had a resurgence.
It has had a resurgence. I mean, and sometimes, like when they do the reveals, like the book of Boba Fett, the 3 3/4 figure looks better than the 6-inch.
Yeah.
It's and they, you know, obviously
that
with technology,
is awful.
Yeah, with technology getting better and better, and you know them being able to do a digital face paint on a 18th scale figures is incredible.
It's amazing. And then he said, all the best, the guy that wants to talk Planet of the Apes with you. Zeph, if you're ever in the DMV, swing by. We'll do a Planet of the Apes show. Just give me a heads up.
That's not the Department of Motor Vehicles.
No.
By the way.
DC, Maryland, Virginia, or Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, depending on who you ask. But just give me a heads up so I can watch them again and refresh my memory. So Brian D., whose wife graced us with this, just in case you want to write in.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
He writes in and says, my wife heard the whole "we need a woman on here that has done crack before," and immediately started writing a response. Chris is shaking his head. So I had made this statement. I was like, I would love to have a female voice on this show, like on a weekly basis, but it couldn't be just any female. Like she would have had to have tried crack once in her life or something. Just something like.
I'm glad you went back there because I want to clear something up. Just because I don't think we needed a She-Hulk. All right, I don't think we need a male Black Widow either. All right, so everyone just calm down. All right, so just
we don't need a Catman.
Thank you. Perfect. We don't need a Catman. Nobody wants to see that shit.
He's a boxer.
Yeah.
Catman.
Oh, there is one?
No.
There is actually a Catman in DC.
Catman.
Of course it's in DC.
What's that?
Of course it's in DC.
Is that right? Yeah. See, that's one of the things I'd say.
Polka dot man.
Yeah. I'd be like,
I don't. It's behind me for a reason, Bobby.
Catman can't be
I don't
good.
face the DC section.
It's awful.
It can't be. It's disturbing just to think of it.
So
Catman.
he and he's got like the two puffs.
Right, exactly. Like
give me Michelle Pfeiffer.
He's kind of cool though.
Does his suit have a butthole?
I don't know.
Does he have a tail?
Good Lord.
Anyway, hey guys. So she said, introducing a vaginal point of view.
Oh my.
You ever seen one of the things up close? You ever seen one of the things up close? Not for me. Hey guys, so technically I've never done crack, but I did willingly marry my husband. That might not mean much to you yet, as you don't know him, but with great authority and paraphrasing the words of the immortal Rick James, I can tell you it's a hell of a drug. Who knows, I might be the vaginal perspective you're looking for. Sweaty starfish, Brandy D.
Okay, Brandy, whenever you're in the DMV.
Whenever you're in the DMV, you're welcome.
Guys
Swing by. All right, next is from Vex Supreme. He says, awesome show, Ragers. Let's get straight to the question. Wildest thing you saw but couldn't believe. Here's a picture of mine. At QT, I saw not one but 2 trucks transporting dirty mattresses. Thanks for all the laughs. There you go.
Oh.
So I can go first, and it's
Gary's got his cheaters on.
Yeah, it's a series of events.
Get off my lawn.
It's a series of events that happened that individually would be odd, but together it was a very strange occurrence. I was at a gas station, and at this particular gas station, there is a funeral home within eyesight. It's actually right next to where my kids go to high school. Don't know how that worked out.
Yeah.
And I'm getting gas, and I don't know how I've never seen this before, but just a dude wearing whatever in a baseball cap rolls up in this hearse to fuel it up. And have you ever thought about that?
No.
Who's putting gas in the hearse?
How does Joker get a fucking cheeseburger?
Well, exactly. Well, there's a dude in a hat. Probably just some dude wearing fucking blue jeans and a flannel.
Bob.
So that was strange enough. And this next part, I know this happens, and I think I've done it once I saw somebody drive away with the hose still in the car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's got a quick release.
Yeah, it's got a quick release on it.
But still, it was just like,
it is like you will be.
and these things happen like basically simultaneously. I'm like, we were all in the car. I don't remember where we were going.
Oh, it was all like at the same event?
It was all at the same gas station within seconds of each other.
Yeah, that's nuts.
This dude pulls up in the hearse to pump the gas, and here's this lady drives away. Like, right,
that dude was right there to carry the bodies out after the explosion.
Maybe she was spooked by the hearse.
Yeah, maybe. And got out of there.
And just tore.
Ghouls and
she knew what she did. She like stopped, and there was this whole like the guy comes out and.
Oh, it didn't drag the.
No, they got a quick
thing
release
off and then started chain explosion
Yeah,
that just
that's what
lit
it's
up the whole
supposed to do.
fucking block.
Well,
it happened in the Terminator on Halloween 4. I mean,
I don't know. They did.
Nice reference.
They did dig up the tanks at that gas station recently and replace them. So maybe it is.
What about you, Jack? What's the craziest thing you've ever seen?
Was it your dad following you while he was walking to school?
I hope that's one and not another dad story that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Like, you saw that?
Oh, there's many dad stories.
Ah, shit.
They're funny, but
I bet.
This is one of those questions, Jack, where like you get in the car and you drive like, oh man, like it's a tough one because it's
Oh, you just gotta let it go.
you gotta.
as I mentioned before, I worked in a movie theater multiple times.
Oh, a fellow film industry.
I missed that too. Yeah, another member of the film industry.
Yeah, well,
Still works there on moonlighting.
let's just say there are certain couples that don't know how to control themselves during a movie.
Do you see these couples on repeat? You've seen the same people over and over?
Or all different.
Not
Or is it
all different, but like it's ridiculous.
Okay,
Like,
so let me ask: is I'm
Bloody real pandemic, if you ask me.
I'm genuinely interested. So if you go up to where the projector is, I don't know what you call that room. The projector room, is that what it's called?
I guess you could, yeah.
Upstairs, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Can you see like the whole room?
yeah, there's like a window,
Right.
I've seen the window, but like, what about the people sitting like at the back row?
What about that back left corner? Where the handicapped is?
Yeah, you can I think you can see the back row.
All right, well, let me ask you this. So you've obviously, is that how you identify there's someone doing something inappropriate?
Yeah, I mean, luckily I haven't like seen anything too much into detail, but I have like heard complaints and I have seen some suspicious movements.
Well, I guess my question is
Very well said, Jack.
how long do you watch before you take action?
Well, I mean,
Are you more of an ogler or you?
Hands where I can see them.
Enough of this nonsense. All right.
Hey, hands out of the popcorn bucket.
Make room for the Holy Ghost.
Pinky.
Ma'am, bring the popcorn to your mouth, not your mouth to the popcorn.
You little harlot.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, we're really supposed to like go to a manager first, like before like where we go in there and like throw them out, but
Dude, you just have like the little wand.
yeah, we did. What's going on back here? You don't know the power of the dark side.
What about you?
Again, this is one of those questions where I'm like, wow, I'm just drawing just blanks. Just it's just, and I know there's probably a good highlight reel in there somewhere that I can't, but I don't know. I maybe things don't faze me as much as they faze other people. Like, I'm like, oh, that's fucked up, and then I move on with
I saw
whatever.
A townhouse. It was in a neighborhood that I was hanging out in, and the townhouse door opened. Somebody came out, but they left the townhouse door open as if somebody was going to follow behind them. Right?
Okay.
And I got to look into the house, which normally you'd be like, oh yeah, all right.
Is this someone you knew or no?
Did not know.
Okay.
Usually you could just look in and be like, all right, and you kind of get on with your. But I looked and I was like, what the fuck? There was like I couldn't take my eyes off of it. There was like trash and garbage stacked up nipple high, like that kind of like canyoned into a goat's trail that you had to walk through the house.
House.
Yeah. I looked at it. There was like scratch and claw marks in the cabinets and shit, like because animals could crawl up the trash and reach the cabinets.
Right.
I looked at it for probably 10 minutes before I realized there was a fucking chow in the front foyer, looking back at me the whole time. Just it blended in with all of the things.
And Chow's a nasty, man.
And
You
big.
better be fucking
And
careful.
big.
Yeah.
And it just was sitting there, and then it just opened his mouth, and like it was the purple tongue, and I was, what the fuck? Oh, what fucking shit! Like and like but it was the filthiest house I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, It made me want to wash my shoes, and I wasn't anywhere near it.
God, I hate to wash the shoes houses, man.
So yeah, that's that. Let's see, and I'm sure I could think of more if I had the time. Then there was Paul C. wrote in, who are the truly bona fide movie stars that are in the industry today?
Ooh.
If it will help you to come up with your list, you can figure out your definition of movie star versus actor together first if you like. Dude, I'm trying to think, because, Quentin Tarantino recently made a statement that, like, superhero movies have killed the movie star.
Well,
that's the first thing I thought about. To be
Well,
honest.
that's what
Who is he again?
that goes in.
Quentin Tarantino's the director. He did Pulp Fiction.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you guys were going heavy into the MCU stuff and all that, and everything like that. But like you said, they don't hire one or two characters in the movie are big names, and then the rest of them are people
But
who.
who's a fucking movie star?
A movie star? You don't want to hear it.
Fucking
You don't
movie
want to
star.
fucking hear it. I'll tell you right
Tom
now.
Cruise?
Who? What?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fucking movie star.
Yeah, The Rock's a movie
Yeah,
star.
Tom-
I agree.
No, I
Tom
know,
Cruise is a
but
movie star for
Tom
sure.
Cruise is a fucking movie star.
Yes, I agree.
Still, unbelievably, still.
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio is a movie star.
He is a movie star.
Brad Pitt's a movie star.
I think George Clooney.
But is
a movie
Brad
star.
Pitt
Denzel Washington's a movie star.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
No.
is a movie star.
No.
Absolutely.
Today.
Oh, today.
Harrison Ford's in a show right now.
I know, and he's gonna do
still in
Indiana Jones, but
but
it's not the same.
he's still alive and still active. So I mean, how
Leonardo
do you not
DiCaprio.
count?
Yeah,
I said that.
Okay. I'm just looking. I'm looking at.
Leonardo
But
DiCaprio,
he's like, who's like a new one? Who's the newest fucking movie?
the
star?
newest. So what's the category? Under 30?
Yeah, I'm bringing that up now, thinking to myself, like, is Quentin right?
I'm trying to think.
Has there been a movie star post the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Of
And if so, who?
Would you consider Margot Robbie a movie star?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's a movie star.
maybe
I would.
yeah, I'll
Right?
give you that one. I'm not debating it. I'm curious.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah.
I love this question. I mean, I would say
maybe
ahead.
Tom Holland. No,
Yeah,
I mean
don't
he's
know.
a
I don't
he's a
think so.
he's a name.
He's a
Bro,
name.
yeah, but like I mean
He's a
'cause-
star.
But Tom Holland
Marky
could
Mark?
go. Tom Holland could go somewhere.
Post MCU.
Marky Mark.
Post MCU.
Yes.
He's not in the MCU.
Post MCU. Like after the MCU was established, who is a fucking movie
Okay.
star?
All right. So
So
Margot
Margot Robbie, I will give you. I think she is one.
Going back to your Tom Holland thing, Tom Holland could go somewhere in
Right.
America, and some people might not recognize him.
that is true.
So
I mean,
a movie star to me is like everybody fucking knows
The
who that
fucking
is.
street shuts
Yeah,
down.
exactly. Like, so this person walks out.
I thought like nowadays,
You
like
know, it's
But
funny.
there
social
are
media.
people. There are people who have been around before MCU, but became movie stars later.
Right.
So I would say like Jamie Foxx is a fucking movie star.
Robert
He was a
Downey
movie star
Jr.
before.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know he was. What'd you say?
Well, I was saying Robert Downey Jr.
No. He was a movie star before.
I'm trying to think though.
I'm like going through, man, and like I'm not I can name people, you know what I mean, like Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, they're there, but they were grandfathered in.
They were grandfathered in.
Okay, so let's
Trying to think. Oh, you know what? Michael B. Jordan.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say.
Absolutely.
I'd say so.
Absolutely. So
He was around before, but Idris Elba.
Yeah, he's a bona fide movie star.
yeah, but he was before.
Yeah, was he though? I'm trying to remember. Like The Wire's.
Well,
the
that's
first
what I
thing-
mean about Jamie. Well, like, people like that.
Jamie
yeah.
Foxx was a fucking like he was.
Yeah. Well, so what's his name? Ray was before MCU.
I think so.
Okay. All right. So
It was before MCU was thought of as the MCU.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
It's
Jennifer
funny,
Lawrence.
I'm looking at this list and it's like
All right.
these people were all in. Oh, Ryan Gosling.
absolutely,
He is a movie star.
But he's been around.
Robert
That's
Pattinson.
another
around.
one. He was an actor, and then he
Yeah.
got So
I might
he
consider.
might be on the.
Yeah, he might be on the list.
Yeah.
What about Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good
I would
one.
say because of Twilight.
Yeah.
Just really
Yeah.
because of Twilight.
That's a good one. Well, like you said, who was the other one? It was well.
What about
So you can almost play 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon with this. You start associating people who are in movies
Yeah.
with these people, right? So you start playing the game. So I'm trying to think of someone linked to Michael B. Jordan.
what about Jesse Eisenberg?
I don't know. I don't know.
What about Jonah Hill?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that. he was around before the MCU, I think, but I would say that he has become something else since because he's becoming like a serious actor.
Yeah. Well, Chris Pratt became a movie star because of MCU.
Yeah, but he might be the only one.
But he did.
Yeah,
so
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, because he was the fat kid on Community, Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
I watched some of this.
He became a bona fide star because of that. I would
say.
What about what's his name? Boseman.
Yeah, it's just so short-lived. You know what I mean? It's like,
but he became a movie star because of MCU.
Yeah, and maybe Benedict Cumberbatch, but it may have been just a byproduct, like because he was in big movies and shit also.
But nobody knew who the fuck he was really
until Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so it has developed some movie stars. So kind of pokes holes in that.
I mean, Josh Brolin maybe.
He was around before.
Yeah, and he was. Yeah, but I mean, he was added as star power for that.
Right, he was. So I mean, if you've never seen No Country for Old Men,
that was a great movie.
Yeah, he's in that. He plays Llewellyn.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Who's a man?
It's amazing. His career is very interesting to because I love Goonies, right?
Yeah,
Goonies is one of my fucking favorite movies.
Truffle Shuffle.
And they're actually doing those guys are showing up in media here and there. I don't know because that kid won friggin' Golden Globe, the one from Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay.
Data.
Yeah.
But he's because he kind of stayed steady. Like he never really. His dad was famous, I get that, but he wasn't as famous as him. And so it's an interest. Like I like to see people maintain. I don't like when they fucking bottom out. It's never good. I like when they they're able to keep it together and don't do fucking crazy shit. So he's a very interesting character to me. But
all right,
I love that question. I could sit here for 5 hours, man.
Yeah, and like talking about like it would almost be interesting at one point to like go through like the decades or eras and like biggest movie stars of the 80s, 90s, aughts. I don't like the aughts, by the way. I just said it to try it now. The aughts for like 2000 to 2010.
Yeah, that's the aughts.
I just tried it. I've never tried it before. That was my first time. I didn't care for it.
You know what? But you kind of need it.
I know.
Well, it's the 2000s and then it's the 2010s.
Well, because if you go through the 20th century, right, every fucking decade is defined some way or another. You could, from all the way, from the beginning to the end. 2000 to me, maybe because I got older to now, it's all kind of fucking blends.
Yeah.
There's no really, and I was really thinking like before, like pre-pandemic, like the 20s were going to turn into like a futuristic, like a steampunk version of the Roaring 20s. Because and then, then shit just happened. That just didn't work out. There's nothing roaring about this shit. But coming out of a depression, whatever. But so that you kind of have to define it a little bit. I'm sure, like Jack, you could define the aughts, and Nikki could
probably
define more so than I can. To me, it's all the fucking same shit. You know what I mean? There's nothing that style wise that I'm sure younger generation can.
Jinkos.
Yeah, like
that
we had the same. It blends into that conversation about the radio.
When was
fucking different songs?
It was the late 90s.
Like even
90s,
music, how much everything kind of blends together.
Yeah, I mean, people putting Band-Aids on their face back in the aughts. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always stayed in touch with the music, so like it does seem different to me, but I know what you mean. That being said, let's wrap it up. So shout out to the Cool Table. As far as I'm concerned, if you listen to this podcast, you're part of the Cool Table as well. Shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team. We got Marilyn Phil on the notes and on Twitter, Raul on Instagram. We got Ricky Tiki Temper on the videos, and we got Dante on Facebook. And thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. And shout out to Joe, of course, on assignment.
The deep assignment.
Yeah, he's in Hong Kong, so he should have a lot of stories when he comes back.
Huh?
And he lost his grandma.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
sorry to hear that.
Condolences.
Yeah, condolences. Yeah, for sure. And so now this is our part of the show.
I hate this part.
Yeah, I know. So
Jack, don't worry about it.
I've already brought him up to speed.
Okay, it was that.
And with that,
this is your turn, Gary.
Yeah. Okay. What are the two?
Adjective, body part.
Adjective. Okay. So let's try to see something that's.
You're not going to see
it. It can be as dirty as you want it to be.
Nah. I'm trying to make it fit into what we talked about. So let's say adjective.
You could just say
modern. Is that an adjective?
No, like quick or
or
like
hairy
or
modern can't be an adjective. Can't describe something.
I guess so. Go ahead.
Okay.
Right.
So modern. And what's the other one?
Body part.
Modern. Chest.
That's probably the worst one we've ever had.
Great job, Gary.
There you go. That's you got to aim really high, aim really low.
Modern chest.
Jack.
I don't know.
You've had 2.5 hours. Come on.
Hasty Hands.
There you go. Perfect.
Nice.
Better than his.
No, much.
Yeah.
Tasty taint.
Tight dick player.